Good evening, or well, good almost morning. We're coming back to do the full live review of all the carpet looks from the Met Gala 2025. And I'm joined by my better half, Dude. How's it going, dude?
What's up, lady? This is the first official live stream of the channel. So what are you going to be doing on this channel, lady? Is it going to be mostly live streams, or are you going to, we're gonna have like pre-recorded content like we had for the last video?
I think it's probably going to be a mix. It's going to be both live pre-records, because this is going to be a bit of a variety channel. We're not just going to have one type of content. So I guess as we start building an audience and as we start hearing from you guys and what you like and what you don't like, please do let us know what you think.
Yes. Sorry, the music just went off. I hit a hotkey by accident, and it sorry.
That's quite all right. That's quite all right.
This is a live show. Just remember that, people. Just remember that. All right. So what are we going to be looking at today, lady?
Today, we are going to be doing the full review of the Met Gala 2025 carpet looks.
But that's going to be dependent on how long we run, because right now it is 11:30 in New York. All right, so we'll see how long we can go. But people, if we don't make it through all the looks today, we're going to be doing another live stream. When do you think that would happen there, lady? Later.
I mean, we could potentially come back tomorrow, but yes. I also have to be respectful of the dude's channel. So we have to make sure that we are not doing too much for one.
No, it's fine. That's completely fine. This is what we're doing. You don't have to bring up any of the stuff I'm doing. But with that said, you want to go on and tell us what this is, what we're going to be reviewing, lady?
Well, we're still going to be reviewing all of the carpet looks from the Met Gala.
Okay, so what is the theme?
So the theme this year was based on a book by Monica Miller. For those of you that aren't aware, the Met Gala is the single biggest fundraising opportunity for the Costume Institute. I think it is, if not the only source of revenue for the Costume Institute, it is definitely the biggest. And the Met Gala is themed to coincide with the spring exhibition. So this year's exhibition is called Supervine, Tailoring Black Style, and it's about dandyism throughout history, but particularly through the context of diasporic and Caribbean Black people, not just in the United States, but globally. And it's based on a book called Slaves to Fashion by Monica Miller, which is actually a really interesting book. It is a bit dense. It's about, I think it's like 400 pages. I've read a good chunk of it. I haven't read the entire thing yet, in full disclosure. But it talks about how enslaved and formerly enslaved individuals were able to utilize fashion, oftentimes blending fashion of their home culture with the culture in which they found themselves, to establish an identity when their identity had been stripped away from them, and how clothing and style became not just, something that you wear so that you're decent when you walk out the front door, but became a really significant cultural bonding experience, cultural identity experience. Yes. And it was a source of empowerment and pride.
All right, so you've sent me some of these looks here, lady. Do you have anything to say about this?
Sure. So, I mean, we should probably start chronologically in history, because this is the person on the screen right now is a fashion influencer, stylist named Wisdom K. He is a regular on the Met carpet. He's very interesting.
Yes.
He is considered part of the dandy movement. I think that more so than dandyism, he is just a very, very creative, artistic human being.
This reminds me a little of the film Holy Mountain, that look there.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, the pose and everything.
He is known for wearing very, not outlandish, but very creative, intelligent clothing. So there's a tremendous amount of historicity to what he wears.
Yes. But this is like modern dandy.
Yes.
You would say, right?
So when we think about modern dandies, you would be thinking about Andre 3000. You would be thinking about a person like Wisdom K. Andre Leon Talley is certainly a big one. Jimi Hendrix, Sammy Davis Jr. These are all men, and dandies are typically men. Now, there are some female individuals who embody this concept. But when
a dandy is classically a man.
Yes, that's what I said.
Yes.
So it's typically male. Most of our examples throughout history are male. Frederick Douglass from the 19th century is a dandy, or would have been a dandy. Before the 19th century, they would have been called macaronis, which is kind of funny. But it is gentlemen who were extremely stylish, almost too stylish, like so on trend, they're almost ahead of trend. And there's usually, that's Josephine Baker. So she would be an example of a woman embodying the style of a dandy. She was very famous for creating waves in the 1920s for not only, she was a stage performer who had some very scandalous routines, but she was extremely talented. And she went on to be one of the highest paid performers in Europe when she left New York City. But she also used to like to wear a men's tuxedo, a tails tuxedo with a top hat, and go out on the town dressed as a man. So that was definitely extremely controversial, but she just liked the formality of a tails tuxedo. That's Andre Leon Talley. He was...
I don't know. Would you really call that dandy? I mean, it looks like he's wearing a blanket.
Well, he was usually wearing a tailored suit underneath his large overcoat.
Giant blanket.
But, he is a person, again, a dandy isn't... It is somebody who is extremely fashion forward, typically in a more formal way. So he was always dressed in a very formal style. And the big overcoats are actually a reference to what several different tribal leaders in the African continent wear as like symbols of their wealth and status. So the big draped fabrics, fabric is very, very expensive. It is a sign of wealth, power, and status to be able to have this rich fabric pooled around you. So it's that intelligent interpretation of a look. This is an example of just a very well-dressed young man.
Yes.
I think this photo is of a guy in Missouri from, I think, the 30s. But dandyism, it wasn't ever, or wasn't historically about being a costume. So there is a line to toe there where you are being extremely fashionable, you are being extremely fashion forward, but you're not wearing a costume.
Yes. I mean, that's a great example of a very good fit. Like that's very well tailored.
That's beautiful suit. His hat is perfect. His shoes are perfect. He's extremely...
The hat is very dandy.
It's very like everything about him is... He has put intelligence and thought and effort into the presentation of himself through what he wears.
Yes. And this is a classic dandy, I would say, right?
Well, that's actually considered a macaroni. So you've probably heard the song Yankee Doodle Dandy.
Yeah, yes.
Put a feather in his hat and called it macaroni. Well, in the 18th century, when dandyism actually emerged as a style, the foppish, fashion-forward, the wealthy elite who spent all of their time thinking about their clothes or prioritized their clothes were called macaronis. So this is actually a painting of a black macaroni being painted by what is probably a court painter.
What do you mean a black macaroni?
The person in the red coat is African.
Oh, so what is his face painted?
Well, he's powdered and rouged, as was the style of the time. But if you look at his skin tone and his features, that's obviously a black man.
Oh, he looks very light. But this is kind of like, when I think of a dandy, this is what I see. This is what I think of.
Well, this is where it started, right? This concept of elevating clothing beyond just functional wear to an art form, and not just making clothing and the clothing is the art form, but the art of style and styling clothing as an artistic expression of self. So dandy as a concept, or this concept of a sartorial social subset, began in the 18th century, late 18th century.
Yes.
And it persists to this day, though it has taken on many, many varied forms. It is global. It's not just localized to one place, although it did start in Europe, obviously. That's a beautiful daguerreotype of Frederick Douglass, taken, I think, in the 1840s. But throughout history, it's not just European people who have participated in this style of dress. Mm-hmm. Black people across the globe have also participated in this expression of style. And here we have on the screen some historical examples, across the decades. So this is a picture from the late 19th century, possibly early 20th century, but more likely like 1870s, I would say. Many of these pictures are unfortunately unattributed, meaning we don't know who the subject is, but obviously it was an individual of some importance, because
maybe some wealth.
Photographs were expensive, and to have a fancy photograph with a gilt frame that survives is indicative that this was a special individual. This was an individual that held significance.
Yeah. Well, that's a young boy, right?
Yeah, so that's a child.
Yeah, it was very well dressed.
Beautifully dressed.
Compared to nowadays.
Yeah.
But people, you go from that to this, like, this is from the 80s.
That's 1985. The 80s were a strange and unfortunate time of polyester.
That's the guy from The Time, right? That's the name of the band?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But
they called this, from what I know, the new romantic period.
Yes.
Yeah. And they did kind of dress like the dandies. You had a lot of acts. You had Prince. You had Adam Ant. A lot of different musicians got on that.
But again, the dandy isn't wearing an 18th century costume, right? It is prioritizing the...
But there's a big difference between this and that other one, right?
Right, but again, it's about being extremely stylish and extremely fashion forward, and utilizing clothing and accessories and styling to express yourself.
Yes.
Possibly in a slight transgression of what is the social norm. So this person, this is also a daguerreotype from, I think, the 1890s. Or no, well, that stovepipe hat is giving me 1860s, but here...
You want me to go look up the date on that?
I don't think we have a date on it. I mean, it would have come through.
Right.
But as I said, many of these photos are unattributed in that we don't know who the sitter is. We don't know who the photographer is. We don't know where the picture was taken, which is really unfortunate because obviously this was somebody's loved one. But when you look at this, right, he is wearing a very tall hat, which would not have been the style. That would not have been how it was commonly worn. Like, yes, the hats did get a little bit large, but that is particularly tall. So it makes you wonder, like, is this like a style choice he's making?
Yes.
Obviously, he is a gentleman of some means. He is sitting for a single person portrait. He is wearing a very fine suit of clothes. He's wearing a very expensive, very fine suit of clothes that fit him beautifully. He has a hat that is probably felted wool that's been treated with mercury, which is why it has that shine to it. So everything about this is telling you that he is a person of importance,
but he's dandy.
And wealth.
But weren't the dandies kind of like many times like middle class or maybe even lower?
No,
lower class.
It was an almost exclusively very, very wealthy person thing initially.
Yes,
and then people of lower social and economic classes started emulating them.
But this is what we're going to be looking at, right? Is the people with less wealth.
Well, I mean, at the Met Gala, those are all millionaires.
I understand
so
that.
I don't.
The dandies that they're mimicking is the black, lower, like they don't not non-wealthy, right?
Well, not all of them. I mean, Frederick Douglass was not poor. Many of the individuals that we see in photographs here were not poor. Yes. Josephine Baker was extremely wealthy. She was one of the highest paid performers in all of Europe.
But wasn't this a movement that just spread across like many countries, and it was the non-wealthy people were doing this as
they
well.
would emulate it, certainly, but this was, in order to be able to do this, you had to have a fairly extensive wardrobe, and you had to have a fashion forward wardrobe, which means that you were changing your pieces out regularly, which was pretty exclusive to wealthy people. The dandies, the macaronis, they were many people considered them to be empty-headed rich kids. They were pretty widely ridiculed. And then the slightly more intellectual derivation of that was the dandy.
All right. Yeah. I don't know a lot about it. I thought the dandies were not extremely wealthy.
No, they were generally very wealthy.
They almost in some ways played pretend, but that was the original dandies.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that was where the movement started, and then people started emulating that, and they paved the way for people to be more expressive and creative with their styling.
Right.
So because they were the examples in the magazines, and they were, well, not the magazines, they were the examples in the newspapers.
Not too much of a fan of this, just on a side note. It looks like he's trying to pretend to be Jimi Hendrix or something.
He was. I feel like that was in his era where he was trying to be Jimi Hendrix. But Andre 3000 is one of these people who uses fashion and uses clothing to express a style. I mean, you would be like in Monica Miller's book, Slaves to Fashion, Fashioning the Self, I think is the subtitle. She specifically references Andre 3000 in the introduction.
Why?
Because she's talking about how in the 18th century, in the early 18th century, before there are many recorded instances of free Black people utilizing clothing to express cultural awareness, ideals, cultural cohesion. Many of the Black people in portraits that still exist to this day, which doesn't mean it was all of them, but it's the ones that still survive, were used as ornamentation. So they would be dressed up in essentially costumes and positioned in paintings as an additional representation of the wealth of the family commissioning the painting. They were a status symbol, and they would be put in absolutely ridiculous exotica with big gold chains on their necks and bangles on their arms, and dressed up as all sorts of exotic caricatures as essentially part of the set of the painting. And so when that transition happens and you start seeing Black sitters as the subject, and then you see them stepping outside the cultural norms of dress and creating their own language, their own visual language of expression, that's where Monica Miller is making this argument that they are fashioning their self. And she compares those Black people used as ornamentation in the 18th century to a man like Andre 3000, who very, very comfortably embodies many of those ideals of sartorial expression as a very, very wealthy Black man in the 21st century. Okay. So she's kind of creating a juxtaposition across time where style was put onto Black bodies as decoration, and now Black bodies are using style as language and art. So it's an interesting conversation. It's an interesting context.
Okay, so we're going to be reviewing these looks from the Met Gala. This is the scoreboard we have here from me and the lady here. We have the first one is we put that in percent. That's going to be 1 to 100. That's on theme. You want to read the categories there?
Yeah. So we're going to be looking at these for a few different categories, whether or not the look is on theme. The theme for the Met Gala was slightly different than the theme of the exhibition. The theme is tailored for you, but obviously the subtext is you should be on theme with the exhibition, which is super fine tailoring Black style. Yes. Craftsmanship are the garments quality? Do they look good? Then we have creativity. Because this is fashion's biggest night. Don't be boring. Like, come on. You could be a pretty person wearing a pretty outfit at the Grammys. This is your opportunity to actually add a little bit of intelligence to your look. Creativity.
Personal style, right?
Yes, personal style. Fit. Does it fit you? That is a surprisingly difficult thing in many of these instances, even though almost all of these looks are one of one, made for the event, made to measure for the event, for the person wearing it, and yet somehow or another, you've got 4 boobs, you've got things hanging out of places they don't belong. It's a very odd thing. Yes. And then we have like an overall wrap it up score. So if we had to give it a letter grade, right? Like, what do we think? Did they meet the brief?
And what do you mean by that? Did they meet the brief?
Did they do what they were supposed to do? Are they on theme in a beautifully made, creative, and well-fitting ensemble that honors what the exhibition is trying to do?
Okay, so we're gonna go through this look by look. We've actually done a review of these first 2 or 3 looks, but we're gonna do it again just because we've changed the scoring system. All right, lady, what do you think of this man's outfit here?
I do think he's on theme because this is Dapper Dan, for those that don't know, and he is one of the identified current cultural icons in the concept of Black dandyism. So whether we agree or like this outfit or don't, you kind of can't tell the guy that they have identified as like one of the epitomes of Black dandyism that he's doing Black dandyism wrong.
So let's go over this. All right. So on theme.
I'm going to give him a 100% on theme because the theme is essentially his own style.
All right. So I don't like the way he looks. I'm going to go over that. I went over it in our pre-recorded video the last time. He's on theme. Yes, he's on theme. So I'd agree with the lady.
All right.
Craftsmanship.
I don't love this outfit. Again, we don't have a lot of detail images. The craftsmanship doesn't look wonderful.
But what do you mean by that?
I mean by that, and again, it's difficult to know if this is like an intentional style decision, but the pants pool in a way that makes me think it's unintentional because his standing leg doesn't pool, but his other leg does pool. So that tells me that like it's cut in between. It's not quite as oversized as it would need to be a zoot suit, but it's also not a tailored trouser. The cuffs look a little bit odd because he's got that weird lace component, but then he's got the shirt underneath like slightly sticking out, and it almost looks like he has a lace or scalloped cuff on the shirt, but it's unclear. And then he's got his coat with his jacket and his shirt, and it's all untucked, and it's all different sizes. Like the shirt, the jacket looks almost shrunken.
So you think the cut is wrong? Like
I think they tried to do too many different things at the same time.
Yes. All right. So what would be? This is the next scale is from 1 to 10.
So the craftsmanship, I would give a 4.
All right. I'm going to give him for that. I mean, you mean craftsmanship is the way that it's constructed.
Yeah.
That's what you mean. Sorry. This is Lady's show. She's come up with these categories, so I'm trying to understand. I don't like the outfit at all. I don't know how it's crafted. I do agree that the doilies on the wrists and all that look kind of weird to me. There's a lot of things that look weird about this.
Yeah.
And it looks uneven the way it's cut. To me, it looks terrible. It looks terrible. Dapper Danny's doing it wrong. I'm giving him a 0.
Damn.
Maybe I shouldn't do that. It's going a little too far, huh?
I mean, say it with your whole chest, dude. You said he's a 0. Give him a 0.
All right. Give me one moment. I'm fixing our... Oh, 1 second. Sorry. Okay, I'm not going to give him a 0. I'm going a little too far in that. I'm going to give him a 2. I don't like the cut of it. I don't like the look of it. Nothing. Creativity.
So in terms of creativity, I think he was trying to do a few different things here. I think he's trying to reference the history, like he's wearing a tails tuxedo. I think he's trying to reference like a zoot suit. He's got some like throwbacks to the enjambs of the 18th century, which is those like big lace cuffs. I feel like he had too many ideas and nobody edited them down and curated them. Like, yes. If he wanted to do a tails tuxedo with an 18th century reference, he could have done that. But it feels like he was trying to do 18th century and 1920s yes. and 1940s. He was trying to do all of the different things at the same time, and so he managed to do none of them.
Look like they came out of like in the 1991 or like a 1990s Spice Girl music video, and he's the DJ.
Yeah. So in terms of creativity, I'm gonna give him a 7 because I can see the components of where he was trying to draw these influences from. Like he's even got the 70s like leisure suit. Big exaggerated pointed collar thing happening. Yes. So it's almost like he's trying to roll up every decade of fashion into one outfit, but it just became very busy looking instead of like, I think like I can see where he was trying to go. He just needed somebody to tell him to reel it in a little bit.
It matches, but it's to me, creativity, I'd say, I mean, it's an ugly look. I think it's very, very ugly. Creativity, I'll give him a 5. Right? Yeah. It's really not that creative. It's, what do you call it? Zoot suit, whatever you'd call that.
But he's not just trying to do a zoot suit, I don't think. I think he's trying to do like a bunch of different things, and because he tried to do too many things, he didn't succeed in doing any of them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that outfit would look good on anybody that wore it.
No, and that's the problem. He had this opportunity and he really could have turned it out. But I think he got a little bit too lost in the sauce.
He got a little too liberated. He got a little too creative.
He had too many ideas, and he didn't have anybody on his team or anybody in his circle telling him, reel it in.
Like, what is that? We got glitter around the pant leg there? What is that?
Yeah, it looks like there's because I watched this live, I think that that's like a twill or a tweed perhaps, and it's got like a sheen to it because there's like a metallic thread through it, and it matches the lapels on his jacket, but it's like there's too many things.
The lapel, there's something wrong with that too. There's a big problem with that lapel.
He has like a glitter lapel, and then he has a waistcoat that's made out of the same thing as the pants, and then the shirt is untucked and it's a tuxedo shirt, but it's got the big 70s triangle collars. And it's got like the enjambment sort of with the lace cuff, and he's got tails, and it's
all over the place.
It's too many influences, and there was like, they're all in the same color family, and they're all in the same, like the palette makes sense, but like literally nothing else makes any sense.
We're right now, I feel like we're talking about the overall. We should probably just focus and just say, is this a creative look?
I think I can see where he was going with it, but he didn't succeed.
It's not really blowing me away in creativity. That's why I gave it a 5, which is like mid-level. Mm-hmm. You're going slightly over. You're giving it a 7.
Because I can see numerous different influences that he is trying to bring together. Yes. He just didn't do it well, is
All
the
right.
problem.
So we're gonna go into the fit. What do you think of the fit?
I don't think this fits him well. A tails coat should be much more fitted to your body, as should a waistcoat.
I also the fit. I think the category of fit is also it's about does it complement him, his body, and
he's
make him
lost
look,
in it.
like elevate him, make him look better.
Like the beauty of a tails tuxedo is it emphasizes the narrowness of your waist, and it makes your legs look very long.
So what would you give him? What would be the number, the score?
The number on fit here would be like a 2. This does not fit him well.
I'm gonna give him a 1. Okay, overall,
I mean, it's a C.
it's a C.
Yeah.
You're going with the letter score?
Well, what do you want to go with? You think we should go with something different?
I think it's fine, but when we use numbers, we can go lower. It gives us more.
Okay,
It gives us a little more nuance.
If we're doing a number score, then I would probably give him a
2 out of 10.
no. If we're giving him a number score, I would give him a. It should be out of 100. No.
You want to do out of 100?
Yeah.
Because I didn't put a percent. I'll put a percent there. Sorry, people.
I would do a.
No, wait. It's fine. It's out of. This is 1 to 100.
I would probably give him a 68.
Oh man. I feel like we should keep it simple and just have 1 to 10.
All right, then I would give him a 6.
All right, 6. That's not too bad actually, right?
Yeah.
1 to 10. That's not too bad. It's a little better than average.
It's just unfortunate
Overall.
because like he's one of the people that they really highlighted as being like a modern dandy, and it's just kind of unfortunate. I think the magnitude of the event got to his head a little bit, and he like lost the plot.
All right, so there you go. If you had to judge this look, what would you call it? Okay. I mean, obviously we are judging it.
I would call it confused.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say. Oh no, I'm not gonna do it. I was gonna write.
Meh.
I was gonna write trash. No, I'm not.
No.
gonna do
That we're
Sorry,
not
sorry.
being disrespectful.
We're not gonna be disrespectful. This is pretty good. He's having some fun. Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, the most important thing is he's happy. He feels really like pleased with his ensemble.
All right, we're gonna wipe the scoreboard real quick and come back to the next look. First episode of what's the name of the show there, lady?
The gallery.
Yeah, first official live episode of The Gallery. If you guys like what you've seen so far, remember to subscribe to what's the name of the channel again?
The Lady Anachronist.
Wait, say it with a little more bass in your voice.
The Lady Anachronist.
All right, that sounded pretty good. All right, we're gonna go and we're gonna look at our next look. We got 300 looks to go. If you can't get through them tonight, people, we're gonna be coming back real soon. Okay. 1 second.
All
Okay.
right.
Here we go.
So this is an ensemble that was made by a woman named Ruthie Carter. She won an Oscar for costuming on a Spike Lee film, actually.
Ah, cool.
And she is a Harlem girl.
She's a singer, right? I feel like I've seen her before.
The person wearing the outfit is Teyana Taylor. I honestly don't know who she is.
I think she's a singer. I think I saw one of her videos before. I could be wrong, but I feel like her face looks familiar to me. All right, theme.
Theme is 100%.
100, huh? Wow.
She nailed it. I think she nailed it in every way you could possibly nail it.
Wrong color. Give me 1 second. Red is probably fitting because she's wearing a whole red outfit, but we're not going to do red.
And what's slightly out of frame here is that her cape has Harlem Rose embroidered on it. And Harlem was considered an epicenter of like the Renaissance of Black culture in America. So and she is a Harlem girl. The woman who made her outfit is a Harlem girl. So it's like a lot of references to a culturally significant location.
All right, so craftsmanship.
I think the craftsmanship is beautiful. I did see a behind the scenes
All right.
short form video about the making of this ensemble. And it is beautifully tailored. Like when you see the individual pieces of it, everything fits her perfectly.
Okay, so what would be the number score you would give her?
I would give her on craftsmanship. I would probably give her like an 8.
So it's once again, this is 1 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
The 100% is so that we can get a more detailed description of it. From 1 to 100 allows us to vary the numbers a little more, you know?
Yep.
All right, you gave her an 8. I would give them... I'd say, I mean, there's a lot of craftsmanship in that outfit. There's a lot of stuff done.
And every single piece was made custom for this look.
Okay.
Even the jewelry. And that was something that was so surprising because, like, it's one thing to make the clothing elements, but even the pocket chain, like that ultra exaggerated pocket chain, and the spats and the cane and the brooches and all of the bedazzlement.
Yeah.
A lot of thought went into it.
All right. Creativity.
10.
You give him a 10,
10.
Huh? Going 10.
I think that of all the people who were on the carpet, she was the best of the night. I know that this look is a lot, and it's definitely not something that I would wear. I would probably wear pieces of it, but not the whole thing at the same time. But when you think about the context in which she's wearing it, and what it's she hit it out. For me, she hit it out of the park.
All right, the fit.
What are you rating it?
I gave it a 10 for creativity.
How the tables have
I
turned.
don't think it's creativity. I mean, it's kind of hard to speak about creativity when they have a given theme, right? So maybe I went a bit high, but I just thought.
Well, it's the theme is very broad. The theme is tailored for you. That's the theme.
I thought it was dandies.
Well, that's so the theme of the exhibition is basically black dandies.
All right.
But they have to broaden it a little bit for the carpet because
not everyone was black.
Everyone is black. Exactly. So they can't be like, well, you have to be a black like
it would be kind of funny to see Nicole Kidman dressed up as a pimp.
Right.
All right, the fit.
I think the fit is it's made for her. I think it's a 10.
It's fit well for her. It elevates
her. It looks
her,
beautiful. It is such a striking and like this is one of those looks that 5 years from now, if you ask me about this Met Gala, this is one of the looks that I will remember.
Yeah. This is for this category. I kind of go back to where I started, where I just think she looks too much like a character from Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Not too big into the shoulder pads. It just she looks like, I guess if you want to look like some weird villain in some vampire film set in Harlem, and it does work, right? I'm just not too big into the weird like the kind of do-rag with the hat.
Yeah, what you can't see in this image is that she is wearing a crushed velvet pleated do-rag that hangs down her back like in a very dramatic fashion, like almost like a veil with this cocked fedora with the giant ostrich feather and the ostrich feather rose on the shoulder. It's a very much outfit.
I don't think it's very flattering to her unless it's a costume. It looks like a costume.
It
doesn't
is
look
very
like
a costume.
It doesn't look like something someone would wear on a regular day. You know, she looks like a character out of a comic book. If that's what they're going for, I guess they've succeeded. But I don't think in any way it flatters her. It takes away a lot of feminine features. It gives her these giant shoulders and it's ultra baggy pants. There's not much of it doesn't really go in, does it? It's almost makes her masculine.
Well, because you're seeing everything layered. So when she takes that top coat off, the waistcoat is fitted to her perfectly.
I gave her a 5. What do you give her for the overall?
For the overall, I have to give her a 9.
A 9.
Yeah. Like, I think that there are some things that I would do differently. Like, I do think that she was overstyled. There's almost too much going on. And I take your point that she does get a little bit lost in the look, but the look is so intelligent. And it's so right on the money that I can't ding her too much for that.
She got a pretty good score here. We gave her, you can see it on the screen there, a lady. She's got the highest score, obviously.
Of the two people we have looked at.
That's not much coming off of the last look we looked at. All right, give me 1 second. We're going to wipe the score. We got Rihanna here, right? Rihanna.
Yeah. And this was, she revealed, I think this is her third child forthcoming. I'm not sure. I don't really follow famous people. I don't know how many offspring they have generated amongst themselves.
All right, so what do you think of this look?
I don't love it, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. I think it's on theme.
On theme. All right, so what we got a lot of looks to go over. So you want to try to run through these a little quicker there, lady?
All right, so I think it's on theme.
Okay,
I'm going to for on theme, I'll give it like an 85.
And why is that?
I'm giving it an 85 because while I do think it is on theme, I think that
it's not quite there.
It's the weird pregnancy corset in the middle. It throws me because the other aspects of the outfit are 20th century, and then she's got almost a pair of stays, which is very 18th century, and then she's wearing spats, which is 20th century again, and then she's got like an 1890s chapeau. So yes. It's a little bit confused. I think it's all in the context, but it's just kind of like Dapper Dan. It feels like there's too much happening, and it's not talking to itself.
Okay, I would say it's kind of hard to judge it because it's so with the baby bump. It makes it look like she's just got a big gut, but we know she's pregnant. I mean. We're not doing an overall here. So I'd say she's on theme, but like you said, she's not quite on theme.
Yeah. There's just something wrong. Like when you look at it, there's just something.
I don't like that whole, what's that whole thing on that? What's that thing on the neck with the,
she's wearing an ascot.
Yeah, it just doesn't look good. That's one of the things that doesn't look good.
Yes.
The cut of the skirt looks terrible.
I mean, but the skirt is really cool. Like, and this is kind of what kills me because like each individual component is cool and interesting, yeah. but they all of them together is too much and they don't make any sense. Yes. So the craftsmanship is, it's like all of the pieces are beautifully made.
Yes.
So the craftsmanship is like a 9.
A 9, huh?
They're all beautiful. I don't like them together, but they're all really well made.
Okay, so it's well made. Do I think that's well made? I don't think it's well made. The thing is with craftsmanship, do you mean like the stitching and
it's the quality of the garment?
I don't know the quality of the garments, like the material they're made of.
Well, it's looking at it. Is it well put together?
Okay, it's
not the styling of the outfit.
That's for damn sure.
Because that's the creativity component. But
let's
the craftsmanship.
Imagine she doesn't have that big giant gut. Do you think that would look better on her?
No, because she's still wearing a random pair of stays with a hyper cropped tuxedo jacket and then a morning jacket, like a 1910s formal wear jacket refashioned into a skirt with 1920s reference shoes and an 1890s reference hat and an ascot.
See, this is
so it all doesn't make any sense together.
You know what's really weird is that we're going over this stuff, but we're like very negative. But then we've already given her an 85 for theme and a 9 for craftsmanship. And we're just like, this is.
Well, because like this is something very frustrating because like all of the pieces individually are really well made. Like you can see that they're well made.
They do.
Right?
They do.
But when you put them all together, you lose the plot completely. Like it's like she got dressed in a time machine and they just sucked her into outfits across like many different time periods. And like a big part of dandyism and using clothing as expression is that it tells a cohesive story. And this just looks like she had 5 different people picking out individual pieces of clothing for her to wear, and then she put them all on at the same time.
Okay, creativity.
Creativity is going to be like a 6.
A 6. Why?
Because again, it feels like somebody picked out a jacket for her, somebody picked out a skirt for her, somebody picked out this corseted bodysuit, somebody picked out her hat, and somebody picked out her shoes, and they weren't talking to each other.
It looks like it's trying to look like something from like the 1920s. Mm-hmm. But it definitely just doesn't look right. And then that big hat, these different items don't work well together, even if she wasn't to have that distracting gut there.
By gut, you mean
Her baby.
Baby?
She's pregnant. Yeah, I know, but on the surface, it looks like a gut. We don't know what's underneath there. She could be lying. She could be lying.
You think
lady.
that she just really hit the Jamaican beef patties real hard?
She might have just eaten a large lunch. That could have been what just happened.
She had a
We have no
pre-Thanksgiving.
idea.
She had a late Thanksgiving dinner.
Okay, so for creativity, I'm going to give them a 4. I don't think this is very creative. Now, one of the most important categories, the fit.
The fit I don't like. I don't think that this does terribly much for her. I think particularly there's something very wrong with the skirt.
There's all kinds of stuff wrong with this look.
For the fit on this one, I'm gonna give it a 5.
A 5. Wow, you're gonna give a 5.
Yeah.
You're very generous.
I mean, because I think that there's something very wrong with how the skirt is fitting her. But the bodysuit, corset, whatever that is, and the cropped jacket fit her very well. So I can't throw her off a cliff, right?
I mean, they did a decent. I got to be, we are being honest. I'm being honest. But if I was a little less, I guess mean. I'm not trying to be mean, but maybe I'm a little too harsh. When you get a good look at it, it doesn't look as much like garbage, but it does look like garbage.
Oh my God.
When I look at it,
you're going to get us canceled before we're even a thing.
It just looks real bad. They just, look, it's just all bad. It's just so bad, everything about it.
Well, one thing that I will say that's kind of impressive, right? A pregnant body changes a lot fast. So the fact that they were able to make such a closely tailored garment fit her perfectly,
decently,
even though her body is changing dramatically, is impressive. Like, that is a high level of skill and planning that went into creating that piece, because they could have very definitely taken a much easier route and put her in like a pantsuit and called it a day. So they do get some credit for going this route, which is the de facto harder, riskier route.
But actually, I think, to me, my opinion is that this, compared to the last look we just looked at, looks like it's like a miles below it, right?
Yes.
It's just like, that's not even close when it comes to craftsmanship and creativity. This is just a very bland, boring look. There's and then that hat just doesn't go with anything. You got the collar with no shirt underneath, and then the accentuated belly and the way the skirt is cut. Sorry, people. All right. With that cough said, overall.
Ooh, tough. Overall, I'm going to give it a 6.
A 6? Wow.
Yeah. Because I'm giving it a 6 because I just think that even though I think that this was a Marc Jacobs custom couture look for her, it really feels like there were like 5 or 6 different people each tasked with doing one piece, and they were never in the same room at the same time. Yeah,
it looks very disjointed. Yeah. That outfit doesn't look like a cohesive outfit. It looks like they just threw it all together and said, here, go outside. The hat is one of the most glaring things.
Yeah, the hat is awful.
And then that jacket where it's that high cut like that. It's... Now.
It's like they wanted to show off the baby bump because this was like the official press release of the baby, which is cool. But like, like they could have done it in a better way. And when I look at this, I want to be impressed by the fact that they basically made a skirt out of a suit jacket, because that's really interesting. Like, what you can't see is on the back, the sleeves and shoulders of the suit jacket have been turned into a bow. It's cool. It's intelligent. It's interesting. It's everything that this sartorial movement is supposed to be. But when you pair that, which should be in many ways like the statement piece, with a pregnancy 18th century corset and an ascot in a red and a cropped tuxedo jacket and a ridiculous Kentucky Derby hat and, a 1920s stiletto heel, you've done too many things. You've done too many things and they don't belong together. And you've really kind of lost the specialness and the intelligence of the individual pieces, I think.
Okay, so we're moving on. Now we got Jenna
This
Ortega.
is so fucking cool. What you can't see, that gown is made out of rulers. Like metal rulers.
Interesting.
That is so fucking cool.
And why did they do that, you think?
Because tailors use rulers.
Oh, that's cool. All right. Theme.
100%.
100. You think this is black dandyism brought to a whole
I think
another
that
level?
I think that this is dandyism. This is sartorial expression done correctly.
For our viewers that don't know that word, what does that mean? A sartorial.
Sartorial is the intellectual aspects of fashion.
Okay, so being covered in rulers is highly intellectual.
It's not just being covered, it's funny, right? So the theme is tailored to you. So they're using tailor's tools to make a gown.
Okay,
a tailor is typically somebody who makes clothing for men, and they've taken one of the key tools that tailors use and made a very feminine gown out of it. Like, that is funny, it's intelligent, it's interesting, and it requires a very high level of skill to be able to do that.
Tailored to you. Okay, so the theme had two themes, right? That's it?
Yes. The exhibit is...
So it's both fit clothing and not fit. I'm just trying to understand this theme, because now I'm thinking it's two different themes. Right?
The exhibit is super fine tailoring black style.
Yes.
The brief or the theme for the carpet was tailored to you, because obviously many of the attendees are not in fact black.
But tailored to you would be just like whatever the hell you want to wear.
However you want to interpret that theme, but the subtext is you should be interpreting that theme to at least make sense cohesively with the exhibition.
So if it goes towards dandyism, I would not call this dandyism. Tailored to you, I guess I'd give her 100. Right? It is her look. It's unique. Craftsmanship.
That's a 10 for me.
You think it's a 10?
That is so hard to do.
Do you think so? I feel like that was a lot of glue used.
They took those rulers and made that, like, faceted them so that she could walk and sit and have this, like, very pretty feminine shape. Like, that is so difficult to do well.
Yes. I mean, it looks like they did it in not so many pieces. Like, you think that top is like a hard material there?
No, it is literally individual rulers that have been put together. Like yes, they've been bent, they've been cut, they've been hinged and joined in all kinds of weird ways.
I feel like it's harder to make a garment out of fabric or like silks and cotton and all that. That's harder to do than to craft something like this.
Well, it's a completely different skill set. Because this is almost sculptural. This is basically making a sculpture that she can exist comfortably in.
It's probably uncomfortable, right?
It's probably very uncomfortable, but it was functional enough for her to not only walk the carpet, but walk up a very long flight of stairs.
This is like craftsmanship in a totally different way. This is like a
literal craftsmanship.
This is like you go to the local Lowe's or Home Depot, and this is how you make this outfit, right?
Right. Well, I mean, there is an understructure. Like there's obviously there are undergarments underneath, like protecting her body from the metal. But I mean, yeah, like this is a very industrial concept, and it's really highlighting the tools of tailoring and that is something that you'll see a number of people do, where they're highlighting the actual craft of tailoring. As the garment, and you gave. Oh,
I gave it 100. Sorry.
Yeah,
about
you
that.
got.
That's not supposed to be a 1.
You did too many O's.
Yeah, too many O's. Sorry about that.
It's all right. Okay. I'll forgive you.
I
but
gave
only
her
this time.
a 4.
Why?
Sorry, people, if we're I'm a little bit clumsy here. The thing is, I'm just trying to understand the different categories. This was all created by the lady, and I'm not really like extremely educated when it comes to the world of fashion. I am incredibly fashionable, I have to be honest.
You are. That is
I am.
True.
I've created a lot of clothing and leather work and all that stuff. But this is a little different. Like, she knows the history of this and all that. I gave her a 4 for the craftsmanship. I think this outfit, even as interesting as it is, I think it isn't as hard to craft as some of the outfits we've seen before this. Creativity.
10.
A 10. Wow.
Yeah. How? Because who is
Makes
given
a
the
dress out
brief
of rulers, right?
of tailored to you and then shown super fine tailoring black style and then goes, you know what? I'm going to use tailor's rulers to make a gown.
Damn.
Like
Drop
who?
the mic. Drop
like,
the mic.
Where? Like where does that idea come from? Like who is in the pitch meeting at Balmain and goes, you know what? You know what we're going to do? Rulers. I mean, Olivier Rousting is a very interesting young man, middle-aged man. I don't know. He's like, he is a very creative, intelligent person, but like something like that, it's so clever.
Yeah.
I love it. Like when I saw that, I was like, that is delicious. That is amazing.
Okay, the fit.
10. It's look
10.
at her. Look at her. She looks like a goddess.
I have to be honest. That does look good on her. I'm always honest. We're always honest.
Like this almost looks like she could have been an extra in the film Metropolis.
It looks good on her. Okay. Her face looks a bit weird. She looks sort of like a doll.
She's wearing a metal sheath. She's probably a little uncomfortable.
All right. Overall impression.
I mean, I got to give her a 10, man. It's a perfect score for me. No notes. This was everything I want. And this is a great example of using fashion as like a conversation starter, without making it costumey. Because although this is a very unique couture gown, she could wear that to the Oscars. She could wear that to the Grammys if she felt like it. You know, it's not... I think that Dapper Dan and Teyana Taylor and Rihanna all are very much in this costume space. Whereas what the Balmain team have created for Jenna Ortega is a look that is creative and experimental and fashion forward and intelligent, but it is also wearable and functional and very much not a costume. And I think that that is a really difficult thing to accomplish and to do well. And the fact that that the Balmain team nailed it. They hit it out of the park.
All right, so we're going to be going into the next look. 1 second. She did pretty well. I think she's one of the highest scoring.
She is,
overall,
I think
is the highest. I think she's the... I don't think I've given any look 2 10s. A 10 for fit is the first one I've done.
Yeah.
All right, we got Chapel Roan here.
Yes.
Interesting.
Now, this look, because I did see kind of like the making of and the thought process of. So this look is made entirely out of reclaimed textiles from thrifted pieces. So the stylist and designer, Paul Tazewell, who is himself very much an individual who would be considered a black dandy in the modern era, wanted to reference the era of like Jimi Hendrix and the like 70s glam, because that makes sense with Chapel Roan's persona.
Yeah, she's got like a kind of wannabe, Twisted Sister,
Dee Snider
Snider kind of weird thing going on.
So what he did was he went and he sourced all of these offcuts and secondhand pieces and basically created this patchwork 70s. I mean, she would make perfect sense on stage next to Jimi Hendrix in this outfit. Like I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes totally reasonable. Like super legit. Absolutely no notes,
Yes.
As far as on theme goes, I'm going to give her an 80%.
80 for this.
Yeah, because I think if we think about tailored, like obviously this is a tailored look. Obviously it is intelligent. It is referencing the concept of dandyism. It is literally like crafting a tailored look out of scraps, which references to an extent the exhibition that this is funding. So I think that it does very well in the intellectual aspects of it. Do I love how it looks on her? No. Do I love it as a garment? No. But do I think that it is pretty on theme? Yes. What about you?
I gave her a 50.
Why?
Because I just don't think it goes with any kind of black dandyism in that whole category of fit for you.
Tailored for you.
Tailored for you. It's a kind of a weird kind of category. It's hard to kind of nail it down.
They always do that.
When I think of tailored for you, that goes into our category of fit. That's where I would go with it.
Well, it's how you interpret that theme,
so it's
right?
like her identity. Like for her,
It could
we
be.
don't know her as a person, so how are we supposed to know?
But that's the thing, they make the theme for the carpet very broad so that people can feel more creatively unencumbered, and
but
they
to
can.
me, her music to me, and even though it tries to have sort of like an edge to it, it's very pop, but like with an edge. That what she's wearing there looks kind of frightening. There's something about it that's kind of creepy.
It's the makeup. It's
not even the makeup,
the
it's just
washed
the cut
out
of it.
face.
She looks like Macho Man Randy Savage. Like she's gonna hit me with a clothesline, right? I mean, I guess it's good for her. I gave her a mid score there. It's passable. It's not bad. It goes with the theme, I guess. It's fit for her, but it's not a good fit, or it just doesn't look that great. All right, craftsmanship.
I'm gonna rate it pretty high because it is very difficult to patchwork and pattern match the way that they did. So I'm gonna give them an 8 out of 10 because that is hard. That is like actually legitimately hard to do.
8, that hard to do, huh? And that's completely patchwork, you're saying?
That is completely patchworked out of essentially like secondhand pieces, because Paul Tazewell is the stylist, but she was brought to the carpet by eBay. eBay has been having like a big moment lately, and so they've been a lot more present at fashion events. And so all of the garments that were ultimately repurposed into this outfit came from eBay. And then they basically cut them and did pattern matching to make sure that it was perfectly symmetrically mirrored. And that is really, really hard to do when you're working with scraps.
And they dyed it?
No, they went and sourced all of these different pieces that all had a cohesive color story. So it was like actually like quite a process to make it. And I think that that's really cool. Yeah. I just don't love the product.
Okay. Creativity.
It's a pretty creative moment. I'm going to give it a 7. I think that it's a suit. So it's not that unique, right? But the fact that they went the extra mile of doing the patchwork and doing the 70s and doing the whole thing, like they even patchworked the shoes. Like you can't see, but her boots, I think they're like knee-high boots, and they have also been patchworked to match the outfit.
Creativity wise, I'm gonna give her a 8. It's got a sort of a 70s look to it.
Very much.
The patchwork is kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all right. Now we're gonna go again. This is the most important category. Mm-hmm. The fit, lady.
The fit, I'm gonna give it a 6. I think the trousers are really good. The trousers look good on her, but the jacket is way too boxy, and that may have been a nod to men's styling. But I think that with the very form-fitting trouser and then the very boxy blazer, the shape of her actual body gets lost.
It should have been pinched a little more in the middle, right?
She should have had more waist definition because she has a nice figure.
Yes.
So boxing her out like that, and I think that she is too petite for the proportions of that jacket.
Well, also integrate the hair into that because the fit is the entire look.
Because the big hair with the big jacket.
Well, actually, sorry. The fit is just the outfit. The overall is the entire look, everything. Okay, so we're just gonna go by the clothes. Sorry about that. The way they fit her. All right, so you just don't like it, and I agree with you. That jacket doesn't look right with those pants. The pants are very well tailored, right? They accentuate her legs really well. They come out in the bottom with the bell bottom. They're open. And then she's got like wrestling boots in there.
They're actually like Victorian boots. They're pretty cool. They actually lace all the way up the front and they have a heel.
She's trying to be like, I mean, they look like almost like what pro wrestlers wear. And I know they have a heel.
Yeah.
You can.
And they've been, but what is interesting about them is they have also been patchworked. So it's like, yeah, they actually patchworked the boots to match the outfit. So when you see them all laid out, it is a completely linear and cohesive story. And it's really smart. And I think that that's awesome. I just do not understand why they made that jacket in that shape. Like, they could have done a beautifully like cinched in waist, which would still be very appropriate for the 70s. They could have even done the shrunken jacket blazer thing that was popular in the 70s with the big leisure suit collar. And that would make sense with the big giant hair. But I don't know why they made that jacket that big and that long.
Yeah, it doesn't
it's just wrong.
They're going for a certain kind of look. I'm not a fan of it.
And it totally throws off the look of the entire outfit.
And then you got that pink. It's a weird kind of pink with the, All right. I'm getting ahead of myself. Overall,
I'm going to give her a... I'm hovering between a 6 and... I'm going to give her a 7. Because a lot of thought and effort went into it. But the proportions of the jacket with the hair relative to her height and those trousers, like if she was wearing the jacket open and she had like a jumpsuit, like the trousers were actually a jumpsuit and she was wearing the jacket open, that would make more sense. But the way it is here, it's the wrong, everything is wrong.
Yeah, 7. But yeah, that's not a bad score.
It's not a bad score because like we have to also consider the craftsmanship, the creativity, whether she's on theme, right? So while I don't love what they did with the jacket, I can't throw out the success of the patchwork and the color story because this is very much on theme for her current album.
The best item on that, what she's wearing there, I think, are those pants.
Yeah, those trousers are great.
The jacket, I don't like it. I don't like the way they style their hair.
Yeah.
I don't think it looks good. It looks like it's going for some like we said earlier, like a kind of 80s aesthetic there, right?
Yeah.
Almost like a pro wrestler, like I said, like Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah.
And she does have some like shades of like Cyndi Lauper at times. The overall for her, I'm gonna give her a 6. I also don't like the way she kind of carries herself, and this is a very poor image. Like the look on her face, she just looks depressed and mopey, tired. That goes into, in a way, it kind of paints, I think, our impression of this outfit here. I don't know what she's trying to project. I don't know it. It's not feminine. It's not. Well, it's kind of feminine in a way. The pants, the color is as well. The jacket, like you said, is very boxy. Her shoulders are very large. It's not flattering. That's what it's not. It's not a very flattering to her. It is in some ways.
It's weird. Like it I don't know what it almost looks like she's wearing her dad's jacket and it like doesn't make any sense. And I don't love the makeup look, right? Like they went super heavy on the eyes, but then
they made her look androgynous. Like that was
washed out her lips. I mean, it's also serving like David Bowie in the 70s, right? Where he had that like weird androgynous like.
But for Bowie, I mean,
thing
for Bowie
going
it would
on.
Be more fitting, and I think he would carry it better.
Well, yeah, but
is. It does remind me of Bowie a little bit. The makeup, it almost looks like she doesn't even have eyebrows.
And it looks like she has no lips. She looks kind of like an alien.
Yes. All right, so not the best score, but not the worst.
No.
Overall, not too good. I gave her a 50. You gave her an 80. The fit, 5, middle ground for me. You gave her a 6. Just a little better than average, right? Just, for a passable look, a little above it, which is good. Like I said, I think one of the biggest categories we're going to have here is the fit. Because that is, to me, that's one of the most, that's one of the
key,
most important.
right?
That's key for if you're going to be wearing an outfit out in public. If you want to look good. But I mean, some designers, they create outfits that aren't intended to really look good, I guess, right?
Yeah.
In a way, they make these outfits that are just supposed to look interesting, right? Okay, so here we go. Next victim. Just kidding. All right, lady.
So I really actually kind of love this. I think it's really interesting. I don't know how on theme it is.
Yes.
It's like, it's odd. Like, so I'm going to give it a 75 because I think it's maybe on theme. Like, it's
Maybe.
definitely tailored to her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's wearing those coral beads, which are referential to tribal wear in Africa. And I know from an interview that they did that it's referential to the tribe her father comes from in, I don't remember which country. But by the same token, it is also kind of just a pretty dress on a pretty person with an interesting jacket. So it's tough, you know?
Yes.
When you see her on the same carpet as like Teyana Taylor, it's like,
It's difficult when you really look at this compared to some of the previous looks. I didn't even like Taylor's outfit too much, but when you look at it and you compare it to this stuff, so in a lot of ways it was appropriate that we started with those looks.
Yeah.
Because as we're going down, the looks are becoming more and more simplistic.
Yeah.
And just the craftsmanship to me is not. It might be there. I don't know. I'm not an expert on this stuff.
I mean, that's a leather
lady
tailcoat
is.
with, exaggerated sleeves and exaggerated tails.
The jacket is nice.
The jacket's cool.
But again, this looks very disjointed. It's a nice fabric for sure. Was that leather?
Yeah, it's a
looks
leather tailcoat.
It's not cut well for her. But I'm gonna go by on theme. I think she is getting a 40. I'm just gonna go there. Just go 40. Should have just made this 1 to 10.
Because I feel like
I'm just giving these,
I think this is a situation where some of these are just, it's too intellectual, it's too obscure, where you have to like do background research to understand the reference. And while I can appreciate that to an extent, if you're trying to convey a message to a broad viewing audience who are probably not going to be motivated to do that level of research. I know that there are some channels that have done reviews of this where they go like super deep and what tribe and what the meaning of the coral beads is and why they're in that pattern. But like functionally, if I can't look at this and understand what she is trying to tell me, she's failed.
Yes.
Because
but you gave her on the theme, you gave her a 75.
I gave her a 75 because it is tailored to her. It is referential of tailoring black style because there are references to African diasporic dress. Okay. But it also is very just like a pretty dress on a pretty person that she could wear anywhere else.
Yeah. All right, craftsmanship.
Craftsmanship, it's kind of basic aside from the beads and the jacket. Like it's just a white shift dress. So
the craftsmanship wouldn't it be the difficulty of creating something like that?
Yeah, and I don't think it's particularly hard. So I'm going to give that a 5.
A 5. Okay, 5. I'm going I'm just take a good look at it.
I mean, it's pretty, and all of those coral beads on the skirt are free flowing. So as she walks, they move 5. Like a fringe. It's a cool look, but
creativity.
The creativity, I'm gonna give her a 5 again because it's a pretty dress. But like, what have you done? In what way have you broken the mold? I'm gonna be a little more harsh.
I'm gonna give them a 3. Fit.
I'm gonna give her a 7. I think it fits her well.
I'm not a big fan of it. I don't know what fits her well because I can't really see the dress that well. It's being covered by that jacket. I know most of it is visible. It doesn't make any sense. It almost, again, it reminds me of the 80s, like the previous look in some ways. You know, in the 80s, they used to wear like these leather jackets or these like smaller fit coats where they would
jacket.
They would pull up the sleeves like that. And then she's got this nice like gown underneath it. It's sort of like she's trying to mix both masculine and feminine. She got her cleavage out a little bit there. Then she got some beads up in the front. It's all over the place. I don't know. I'm going to give her a 4. All right. Overall,
I'm going to give her a 7. I'm going to give her a 6.
Why?
I'm giving her a 6 because, to your point, it isn't a cohesive vision. No. She's got 1920s hair. She's got a tailcoat that is simultaneously like 19-teens and also 1980s. The shift dress looks to be a plain dress with the real star of the show being this beaded element, but the beaded element doesn't make any sense with a tailcoat.
None of it goes together. None of it.
So it's kind of the same problem we had with Rihanna, where individually all of those pieces are beautiful and interesting, but like put together, don't tell a cohesive story.
She's not. She just. It wasn't well put together. To me, it's a very mixed messaging. And also, lady, you could also talk about her hair and so on, because overall is a full everything.
It's again a situation where it looks like the people who are coming up with the individual components of the outfit were not ever in the same room with each other.
Yes.
And they didn't talk to each other. No one emailed anyone else.
She tried to carry it well, right? She got the smile. She's showing some of the cleavage. And again, it's almost like a mixed thing. It looks to me, it's like a blend of a masculine style and feminine. I think it would have been nicer if she would have had a nice button down shirt to go with that jacket, right? Now it's button down, maybe even a pair of pants.
Yes, that would have been cool.
If she would have worn that, I think she had a chance to look a lot better with the mix of that jacket. But I feel like, again, they're trying to blend those two things together, and I think they're failing. I gave her a 5 in the overall, just because this, in some ways, this is slightly flattering. But the pieces altogether are not.
Yeah. She could have done a cream-colored tails tuxedo with that coral bead as like a waist cinching element that then became the tuxedo stripe of the pant.
Yeah, it's just
that would have been really
confused.
cool.
It looks like she just they were like, the Met Gala's tonight, okay, and she just grabbed a bunch of random stuff and just threw it on. Looks like a collage.
Yes.
All right. Here's our next look. Did we skip over anything? Okay.
Nope.
Sorry. Okay, here we go. Next look.
Nicki Minaj.
Turn your pastime.
Okay. So what do you think of it?
I mean, it's definitely on theme. So she gets like it's just what to say about this. Because, we're going back into costume territory, and I think very few people who walked the carpet managed to strike the balance between being on theme, referencing the exhibit, and not being a costume.
This looks like something out of a Tim Burton film.
It does. It looks like one of those slutty Halloween costumes, but with like her mother's skirt.
Yes. All right. So what would you give it for on theme?
On theme, she's gonna get a 70% because it is on theme. It's very literally on theme, but it's not interestingly on theme for me. Yeah.
I'm gonna give her a 60. I think she's on theme, right? She's on theme. And is well. We're gonna go now. We're in the next categories. I don't want to give everything away. Craftsmanship.
The craftsmanship is it's not gonna get. It's gonna get a 60 for me, or a 6.
All right. Why is that?
It does not sit right on her body, which is a fitting problem. And I know we're gonna talk about fit, but when you're making a garment to measure, which is what this is, it should fit like a second skin. It should fit perfectly, and it doesn't. It's got wrinkles and crinkles and lumps and bumps, and like, it's not good.
Wrinkles and crinkles and lumps and bumps.
And like the color does not coordinate. The stripe does not coordinate. And you can pattern mix and do all of that, but the pattern mixing here, the patterns are not different enough. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a pinstripe and a pinstripe, but it's pinstripes of different sizes and on different colored backgrounds. But they're not so different that they create like a contrasting conversation. So it just looks like they washed the fabric on the top one too many times and didn't wash the fabric on the bottom enough. So they're slightly different colors blue.
Yes.
And it just looks unintentional and sloppy.
It does look, to me, it does look sloppy. Creativity.
It's not particularly groundbreaking. I'm gonna give it a 5. Like, it's a skirt suit with boobs
Yes.
and a big flower applique on the shoulder.
Creativity. It looks sort of like a Tim Burton film in a way. Mm-hmm. All right, fit.
Fit is gonna be a 4.
All right, why is that?
Because there is no excuse. Tom Brown has dressed Nicki Minaj numerous times. He knows what her body shape is, and the fact that her skirt doesn't fit and her jacket doesn't fit. And she's obviously aware that it doesn't fit properly because she is covering it with her hands.
Would you buy this for $1?
No.
I'd buy that for $1.
No, she wouldn't. She wouldn't.
So I thought this look was very disappointing.
Fit, I'm going to give her, you gave her a 4. You gave a 4, right?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to give her, for this fit, I'm going to give her a 3. I'm going to go a little under. It's not flattering. And it just does. I mean, I guess if you want to see some boobies, it's succeeding in that. But it looks, like you said, it looks lumpy. It's not well fit. It's loose, but yet tight at the same time.
Yeah.
The collar looks like it looks like she's wearing it incorrectly. What's up with that pocket? Look at that pocket. It's like almost in her armpit.
Yeah.
It's like, what's happening with that fit? It's terrible.
It's
terrible.
like, oh, we're deconstructing the man's suit jacket, but like you didn't deconstruct it enough.
She looks like she looks like she was gonna play Ursula in the
Little Mermaid.
In the Little Mermaid,
Yeah.
but on Wish.com version of it.
Like the skirt is slightly too, so it's not long enough that it like is a statement.
Yes.
But it's too long to be truly functional as a skirt. Like she's 100% gonna need both hands to pick it up so she does not tumble head over
and
heels.
the seam of that skirt, like look where that seam is. She's standing sideways. What's up with
that's
that?
princess seaming, so that means that the skirt is cut in panels. Like that's not weird, but the fact that like
maybe
the skirt doesn't fit her,
maybe her posture, like it's a bad image too.
and like the jacket doesn't fit. Like you can see that it's crinkling and wrinkling in weird places.
Yes.
You can see that the seams are pulling.
It almost looks like a corset, but it has like without boning in it.
Yeah.
And not cut correctly.
Yep.
All
there
right,
wasn't
overall,
enough room made for her hips and her butt.
It just doesn't look right. Overall,
She's gonna get a 6.
6.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna give her I think 6 is actually a good number for it. She it looks it's very poorly put together. It's not creative. But in the end, the overall, as I see it and as you see it, it's a little better than average.
Yeah.
I guess you would say, which maybe we're being a little generous. I don't know. We might be. She doesn't look terrible in it, except it looks sloppy as hell. Would you agree with that?
Agree. Yeah. It looks like they never did any fittings.
Yeah, it just looks real sloppy to me. It looks like
and there's
an outfit,
no excuse for that.
It looks like an outfit that needs more time in the oven.
Yeah.
Like they didn't tailor that well. There's
like
all
this
kinds
looks
of
like a
problems with it.
first draft.
Or it looks like maybe they constructed that well and then she decided to go start pulling the shoulders to the side and doing all kinds of stuff with it, doing these ugly modifications. Mm-hmm. And the pose she's doing there where she's holding her stomach.
Well, she's covering the front of it because she knows that it's not fitting her properly.
Yeah.
Like it looks weird.
It's bumpy. It's very
bumpy.
bumpy.
And then also, if you're going to pattern mix, you need to mix patterns. You can't just pick the same pattern 2 times in slightly different sizes because that very rarely works well. And it certainly doesn't work well here. And doing a pinstripe in a garment where you're trying to create in this like ultra cinched in waist doesn't make sense because a pinstripe is vertical. If you're making curves out of a fabric that has a vertical orientation, it's going to look weird. And it looks weird.
Yeah, I think they would have been better off making that an entire dress.
Yes.
A full dress, not in 2 pieces.
Yeah.
All right,
and also, like, she gets kind of a semi-fitted hourglass mermaid gown with the boobs out the top. Like that. We've seen that from Nicki Minaj 857,000 times. Like there's nothing intelligent or unique. And that's something that I hate.
Well, that would be that personal fit, right?
Yeah.
The theme.
I mean,
but
it's
I think this
definitely
goes
like
more
her.
with the dandyism, right?
I think that she was like whoever styled her was trying to do something a little bit more with a nod to the tailoring.
It looked like she wasn't there. She gave them some fake measurements.
Yeah. And then she showed up 10 pounds heavier than what she told them.
I don't know if that's maybe
no,
maybe heavier.
The jacket doesn't fit her because her hips and her butt are too big for it.
It's a mess. All right, we're going into our next look. Okay. All right, what do you think of this, lady?
So what's crazy is this gown and the look we just saw were made by the same person.
Interesting. So he's very good at dressing women poorly. All right, what do you think of
Actually, I think this is a very cool look because it's a tie.
Is it on theme?
That is definitely on theme. That's 100% on theme.
100% on theme?
Yeah. Because it's a tie. She's literally wearing a man's tie as a gown.
Tailored for you. Get it? Tailored
Like
for you?
it's that's funny. That's interesting.
Somebody should come in as a tail. Okay, sorry. That's cheesy. She's a tie.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't think that's very clever.
I think it's very clever.
She's a tie.
How many, like, if you were given the brief tailored for you, would you go, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make an evening gown that looks like a man's tie.
Oh, man.
Like, that's clever. I think it's clever.
100. Okay. For the theme, I'm going to give her a 50. Okay. Craftsmanship.
Why are you giving her a 50?
Why? Because it's supposed to be tailored for her. It's not well tailored. I don't really like the look. But we're gonna go into the other categories and the overall and the fit, and I'll tell you what I think about that. And the theme, if it comes to the theme, it's tailored for you, right?
Yeah.
All right. That's not well tailored. It just isn't. There's a lot of issues with it I see. All right, craftsmanship.
I think
lady.
it's actually really well made.
But you know better than I do.
Well, don't negate.
I mean, you have your opinion. I have mine, I guess.
I think it's actually really well made. I'm going to give it an 8. I see some fit issues, but generally, I think
the
it's
craftsmanship?
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to give it an 8. Okay. All right. Go on.
What are you giving it for craftsmanship?
For craftsmanship, I'm going to give it a 7.
I think the creativity is a 10 for me.
Creativity. Okay.
Because, like, I think that is so, like, funny.
All right, but what is it that you find so creative about it?
She's literally, like, the bodice of the gown is the knot of the tie. That thing going up and over her head is the neck piece of the tie. And the front of the skirt in 2 panels, front panel and back panel, are the legs of the tie that hang down the front of your shirt. Like, she is wearing a man's tie as an evening gown in a literal sense, and that is intelligent and creative and funny and interesting.
It's more campy than anything else, right?
I think it is a phenomenal interpretation of the theme. I think it's so intelligent, it's so funny, and it's unique. Nobody else did that. Everybody else took it literally and wore a fucking suit.
Well, she's kind of taking it literally, isn't she? She's becoming a tie.
But she's taking it literally in the same way that Olivier Rousting of Balmain did with Jenna Ortega in wearing her ruler dress. Like, it is funny. It is breaking the fourth wall.
I'm gonna give him a 6 for creativity. Fit.
I think it fits pretty well. I see some issues with the bodice but that could also be how she's standing.
Yes.
So I'm not entirely sure if that's like a fit issue or if that's like a posing issue. So I'm gonna give it a 7.
7.
But I think overall it's a really fucking cool look.
Just gonna drop the F-bomb here.
Dropping an F-bomb.
Lady, you're dropping the F-bomb? How dare you? She's dropping F-bombs. This is a family show. All right, the fit of it, I'm gonna give her a 4.
Why?
I don't think it's well fit to her figure. I think the waist looks a little too thin. It's kind of falling in her chest. You see, notice how it's kind of like falling. It doesn't look well fit to her. The hat, if we're gonna in the overall, we'll talk about
that's
the overall.
not a hat. It's not on her head.
What is it then?
That is hovering around her head.
What? Either way, we're gonna go over that right now. The overall.
The straps coming off of the bodice go up and over her head in a structured arch. That's not touching her head.
Okay, I thought it looked like a hat to me. What do you have for overall?
Overall, I'm giving it a 9.
9.
Yep.
Okay, so you think it's almost perfect?
I think it's really cool. I think it's really smart.
Yes. I'm gonna give it for overall. I'm gonna give it a 5 for overall. And I probably shouldn't go there. Like, to me, it's just not well fit. Whatever that thing is that's hovering over her head, she's having to hold it in order to keep it straight. You see?
No, she's not. She just has her hand there for that picture.
It looks like to me
I saw it move.
Well,
it
to me,
stays there fine.
well,
She's just like.
It looks to me, from me looking at this picture, it's not a very good picture. Even if she's not doing that, she's just doing a pose. It looks like she's holding that thing up to keep it straight.
She's not, though.
Okay, well, it's not. It doesn't look great on her. It's not the most flattering. I gave it a 5. It's not extremely ugly, but it's not. It's not.
You're entitled to think what
It's
you
not
think.
completely flat. It's not flattering. It's not the most flattering. It's almost there. It looks like a half-baked outfit. It looks like it needs to be more tailored to her body. And I'm not too big into it. You know, that kind of weird shiny and yeah, you know, it's a tie, but I'm not too into it. Okay, we're going to go to the next look. Are you okay with my answer?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, here we go.
You're entitled to think whatever you want to think.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to have an opinion. Here we go. Who's this
That's
lady?
Doechii. She's I think a singer.
A rapper, singer?
And she was dressed by Louis Vuitton.
Okay, theme.
100% on theme.
On theme, huh?
Absolutely. Look at her.
That's for the black dandyism, right?
Mm-hmm. So she is tailored for her, but also referencing that black dandyism.
But they go towards, but the women, like I said, we're talking about dandies. Dandies are men.
Typically.
So she's, well, I would say it's men. That's how it's defined. This is why I think they're dressing up in a very masculine way.
Yeah.
She's dressed as like a man would
Yes.
dress. I'm going to give this, if that was a man, I think it'd look a little better. I don't think she carries it very well. She has a kind of masculine face, but she doesn't carry the outfit too well. But this category is about on theme. I'd agree with the lady. She's completely on theme.
Yeah.
Craftsmanship.
I don't love the trouser, the short. I don't love the shoe sock combination. But I think that the tailcoat fits her beautifully, and that ascot is really nice.
Yes.
So I'm gonna give the craftsmanship a 7.
7.
Yeah. I think the short is distracting, and they should have really committed to the bit and given her a pair of breeches.
Yeah. But that has more to do with the fit. I feel like we're trying to really nail down these categories.
Yeah.
Craftsmanship, to me, just in my opinion, it has to do with the construction and the difficulty of that construction. We could think this outfit is
They made her Bermuda shorts.
What I'm saying is that this outfit could be absolutely ugly, and craftsmanship could be a 10 or 100. You know, whatever we have it set as 10.
I
as the
don't
max.
think that the shorts are well made.
Yes.
Like I don't think that they did a particularly good job on them.
They look like weird.
They're
on one of
the
legs.
but that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like the proportions are weird. It looks like they didn't have enough fittings. There's like weird wrinkling in the crotch area that shouldn't be there. And it could, yes, some of that is down to how she's standing.
Yeah.
But also, like, if you're going to pick the damier, which is the house code for Louis Vuitton, like that is a very, very famous print for them, and you're going to do it in this like light on light color, you have to really, really be careful with fit, because anything that you do wrong is going to stand out like a sore thumb.
So you don't think that was intentional?
I think that they might have done it intentionally, but I don't think it was done well. If you're going to give her an exaggerated silhouette on the bottom, then fully commit and give her an exaggerated silhouette. I think that they either went too far or not far enough. Like, they're in some weird, indecisive middle ground. For me.
I'm gonna give her a 5 for that.
Why?
It doesn't seem to be particularly difficult, I feel like, to make the whole outfit, all of it. You know, it's a pair of shorts. The cut of them, the way they're stitched together, it just doesn't seem to be that difficult. It's difficult, obviously, you know, it takes time to do that, but it's not. Again, we'll go to the first examples. What's that woman's name again?
Teyana Taylor.
Yeah, that's difficult. There's a lot of work, craftsmanship that went into that. Creativity.
I don't think it's particularly creative. I think it's cute. I think it's a cute look, but I don't think it's like really groundbreaking. She's just cosplaying as like a boy. So I'm going to give her a 6 on the creativity there.
Okay.
And I fucking hate those socks and shoe, that sock shoe combination. I hate that so much.
You don't like it?
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
You
I
don't
hate
like,
it.
what is it, like maroon?
Shit. I mean, I don't care about the color, really. The color makes sense with the rest of the outfit, but I hate that she is wearing like men's dress socks with a flat Mary Jane. Like, that is just German tourist at the beach.
Yeah.
To the like extreme, and it bothers me in a way that is unhinged and probably unhealthy.
All right, fit.
The fit's gonna get a ding because I don't think the shorts fit her properly. I think that the jacket's nice, but the shorts are a mess.
Yeah.
So the fit is gonna be a 6.
Okay, for the fit, I'm going to give her a 4.
Why?
I don't think it's flattering in any kind of way, that outfit on her body. It's just confusing. It's like you said, it's baggy. The jacket looks like it's almost tucked into her pants.
Yeah.
There's a lot. It just doesn't look flattering at all. Okay, overall.
Overall, she's gonna get a 7, probably.
7.
Yeah.
Why?
I think that she's very much on theme. I
Yes.
think that she is.
But we're just going by, the big thing is the look as a whole.
Right. As a whole, I don't
hair,
love the fit.
all,
I don't love the styling of the shoe sock situation, but I think that she's very much on theme. And I think that just looking at the pattern matching that they did on that tails coat, it's obviously well done. So it's difficult because I think that she missed the mark in some important ways, but in other ways she was right on the money. So she gets a 7 for
the
me.
whole very almost tight fitting top coat or jacket or whatever that is. What is that? A blazer?
That's a tails tuxedo jacket.
Tails tuxedo. Sorry, I see the back now. It has a tail on it. It doesn't look well with those pants, and it
doesn't
doesn't
make
look
sense.
good on her.
And it doesn't make any goddamn sense with those stupid socks and shoes.
It's in some ways.
I would have rather seen her barefoot with nothing.
It's not flattering at
No.
all. It's not flattering to her
No.
body. To me, it's ugly. It's in some ways it's ugly. It's not the ugliest look we've seen, but on her, it just doesn't look
Yeah.
right. The jacket is very almost brought in. It's kind of tight. It's not too tight, but then the pants are extremely baggy, and then.
I think if they had given her fall front breeches and hose and proper 18th century or, early 19th century shoes, that would have been such a cool look.
Yeah.
I also don't think that the light on light on light on light makes sense together.
The maroon shoes.
Yeah.
It's like the
Like they
shoes.
should have pulled the maroon into the damier, perhaps, maybe not made all of the check maroon, but what you can't see in the check print on the trouser is a little LV logo in each of the gray squares. So they could have made that LV logo in the maroon and kind of created a cohesive color story. Brought a little bit more contrast and interest to the bottom half of the outfit.
Yeah, I
Because-
mean, it's weird. It goes from it's what's that thing you call it? Like this little bow she has there
cravat.
on her neck, and then her socks and shoes match that, and that's the only thing that matches.
Yeah.
And then I guess the lipstick. She's trying to match the lipstick to the shoes. Not a fan at all. I find this to be not very unappealing outfit, and it doesn't look good in it. Okay, here we go. Nicki, who's that? Cardi B.
Cardi B in Burberry.
All right.
This outfit I actually really like. I really like this outfit.
What would you give her for the theme?
On theme 100%.
All right. What makes this on theme?
It is not only an extremely well-tailored garment, it is referencing the historicity of dandyism and tailoring. It manages to be men's tailoring, but very flatteringly done on a female figure. And I just think it's phenomenal. She's wearing a fucking cummerbund. It's fantastic. And it's in this rich green velvet brocade.
Yes.
With the romantic cuff and the ruffled tuxedo shirt, but it's worn open, which is transgressive in an intelligent fashion. I loved this outfit. When I saw her walk, I was like, thank you. Thank you. And we have been in a drought of beauty. And then she came out and I was like, yes.
And that's rare for Cardi B.
Well, she actually tends to do really well at the Met because she, for all of her shortcomings as a human being, is actually very into fashion and has a good team of stylists behind her. So she tends to do very well at the Met, actually.
Okay, craftsmanship.
This is beautifully made. This is absolutely stunning. And to pattern match a velvet brocade,
What do you give her?
I mean, that's a 10. This is going to be like a 10s across the board outfit for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna give her a 10 as well. I think it's
it's fucking
for,
gorgeous.
For sure, you could tell it's a very difficult outfit to put together. What is that? A pair? Those are pants, right?
She's wearing a wide leg trouser with a cummerbund and a tuxedo shirt with a top coat.
All right, so creativity.
It's not very creative, to be honest with you. I'm gonna give it like probably an 8 in creativity because it's a suit.
I gave her a 9.
But
I just like how they mixed together
it's
the
so
classic,
good.
the classic
Yeah,
dandyism,
it's
right?
so fucking good.
Is that a word? Dandyism?
Yeah.
It's like a blend of the classic dandyism with a more modern
Yes.
flavor, I guess.
It's
in a
so
way.
good. It's so
They
good.
even with the hair, they went for that kind of like
Yeah.
the large dandy hair,
They-
but in a
that
feminine
is-
way. But it's feminine.
One of the pictures that we showed at the beginning of the
Yes.
broadcast was a daguerreotype of Frederick Douglass. And he had almost exactly the same hair that she has in this picture, where it's parted and it's slicked down at the part, but then puffed up at the bottoms, kind of like emphasizing the natural texture of the hair. This outfit does everything right for me.
It's a great blend. They did a great job
Yeah.
of, like I said, integrating.
The only
the
reason
old
I'm
style.
dinging it is that the theme is tailored and she's wearing a suit. So like in that sense, it's not tremendously creative, but if you're going to wear a suit, this is how you wear a suit.
But I mean, they're not all wearing suits. I'm
No.
talking about the black dandyism, right? This brings in the classic dandy
It does, yeah.
look and blends it in a way better than almost all these women have
Yeah.
done. She's kept that feminine look to it, right?
She looks beautiful. I love and what she manages to do here is that that is a suit that can be worn in real life. It is not a costume. So in the Teyana Taylor is 100% on theme. It's so creative, it's so interesting, but it's a costume. She can't wear that anywhere else.
Yes.
Cardi B could wear this in a variety of contexts. If she buttons up that shirt, she could wear it to a function at a museum. If she, takes off the top, she can wear that to Cannes. She can wear this outfit, or anybody could wear this outfit at other points in time.
Yeah.
It's not a costume. It is a beautiful suit of clothing that is creative and well made, and it fits her like a second skin.
It fits her well. I wouldn't say perfect.
I
just
think it
'cause of
fits her really
the
well.
cleavage there.
But that's intentional.
I know,
Her shirt
I know.
is fully
But
unbuttoned on
it looks like
purpose.
she couldn't even button that. They would have to add more fabric to it.
No, that's just opened and taped to her boobs. Like that's how you make it look like that. You just tape it down with fabric tape.
Okay, the fit.
I think the fit is a 10. I think it fits her perfectly. And that is a difficult color and a difficult textile to pull off, and she looks magnificent.
All right, I gave her an 8. Just because
You're bothered by the bazooms.
It's the way it sticks out. I mean, come on, it's like it doesn't. I feel like it takes away from it a little.
It
bit.
does.
It takes away from it.
But that's also her brand, right? Like
Yeah,
she
I
is
know.
very
And
revealing all of the time. So you had to I think that they had to.
She had to do that. She had to slut it up a little bit.
They had to give her the
Not trying to
bazooms.
slut shame here or anything, but she does.
She had to free the
She plays
bazooms.
one on TV. Okay. Overall,
I'm giving it a 10.
a 10.
10. Fantastic. I was so excited. The two Burberry looks that walked the carpet that I recall as being Burberry looks were 10s for me.
Okay, I gave her a 9 for the overall. It's maybe I'll give her a 9. Okay, I'll be nice. I would probably go to 8, but 9's good. I mean, it all works.
You're
well
really
together.
bothered by the boobies.
No, I'm not. I mean, the boobs, they just look kind of like they don't look right on her. She needs to get rid of them and have a flat chest. I'm kidding. It's a joke. It's just weird knowing Cardi B and like.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting to see her with her personality dressed like that.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
I feel
I
like
don't know.
Demi Moore should have dressed like that,
yeah.
maybe, but without the cleavage.
But I don't think Demi Moore has the
it's just weird. It's
gravitas
like
to
the
pull it
shading.
off.
It looks like they put shading on the side of her boob.
No, she just has fake boobs.
Oh, so she just naturally has shading there? They
Yeah.
tattooed her boobs? With
Well,
shading?
no, they're just fake. So they don't move. They just sit.
But what's up with the shading on the side of the boob? Like with the line?
I mean, they probably blushed them.
They powdered her boobs?
Yeah.
She's got boob powder. I mean,
She's wearing body makeup.
sometimes that looks good on ladies, but I feel like since her boobs look like torpedoes,
It's too much.
they look like they're made of like
the
they're
shirt
rocks.
didn't need to be completely unbuttoned. If they buttoned 3 more buttons, That would have been better.
Okay, so we got Lauryn Hill.
And Stella McCartney.
All right. Okay, so what do you think?
I loved this.
Is this on theme?
I loved this. This is definitely on theme.
Okay. So what's the number you give it? Just 100?
100%. That is, and like, she has an attendant holding her parasol. Like, the theatricality of it all. Like, my lord, I love this.
Craftsmanship.
It's beautiful. Like, this is really beautifully made suit. So I'm going to give the craftsmanship a solid, like, 9. It's not a 10 because it's a suit. Like, suits require skill, but it's a suit. We're not really pushing the boundaries of construction here.
Yes. All right. So what is that thing behind her head? What is that?
It's a cape. It's a cape with a standing collar, a standing architectural collar. So that to do that, you wire the seam in the fabric.
So you gave craftsmanship a 9?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because each component is difficult to do in its own right, but it's still a suit with a cape.
Well, I mean, that's more, I think, the question of creativity.
Right, but in terms of things that are difficult to make, it's not
that difficult.
Terribly difficult to make
all right,
a suit.
creativity.
See, this is tough because it's a suit, right?
Yes.
But it's a suit with a cape and an attendant and a parasol and an architectural collar. So I think that if we put all of these things together, it's going to be an 8 for me.
8.
I loved this look. I thought that this was fantastic.
I'm going to give her a 4.
Why?
Because I don't think this is very creative. It's like, what do you call that? Is that?
But
like
you have to look at the whole thing,
like
which includes the guy with his suit, with his
know.
parasol.
What is that color?
It's like a daffodil yellow.
Yeah, it's like a yellow. I called it elephant tusk. I don't know if that's the right way to put that. It's yellow.
Do you mean ivory?
Ivory, yes.
It's not ivory.
Yes, ivory. It's like a weird
That's a
yellow.
shade of yellow.
Yeah,
Ivory
she
is
looks
a
like
shade
she
of
looks
cream.
like vanilla or some kind of creativity. It's a suit. It's not very creative, and it came with a suit, and then they threw that guy in there with the umbrella to try to make her look, I guess, like some kind of wealthy person. She got some charges of tax evasion, so I guess he's there to block some of those prison.
Man,
charges.
That was cold, man. I was
actually told by a person I know that she had a big conversation with some people behind the scenes about how I never pay my taxes. And then later on down the line, a few years later, I heard, whoa, she's getting in some trouble for tax evasion. Fit.
I don't think that the top of the suit fits her particularly well. I think the jacket needed like maybe one more fitting. So I'm going to give the fit a 7.
All right, I'm going to give the fit.
I will be right back.
All right, so the lady's going to step out for just a minute, and I'm going to tell you what I think of the fit, and I'm going to go into the overall. All right, so the fit, what I think, is I don't think it's ugly, but there's certain components of it I'm not a fan of. The around the waist, it seems to be very loose, and it's not well fit to her body. It's very loose fitting. It's very boxy. The arms look to be a little too long. I know that's probably intentional, but it just looks like a jacket. The jacket looks like a jacket that does not fit her very well. It's not ugly, but it's not very flattering either. So I'm going to give it a 5. And then for the overall, altogether, I think the outfit, in a lot of ways, it starts off when you go from her hair down, right up to, I guess, where her chest is. Right under, towards the center of her body is where it all kind of falls apart. Before you get there, it looks great, right? It looks fine. Her hair looks nice. She's got these earrings on, nice lipstick. She's kind of a pretty lady. And then it kind of all becomes towards the bottom. It becomes like really very loose fitting clothing, not very flattering, long cartoon-like sleeves. Dick Tracy color on that jacket. Not great. Overall, I'm going to give her a 5.
Man, the roast.
All right, lady, what do you got?
Overall, I'll give her a 7. I think that she's very on theme. I think it's interesting, but I don't think it's phenomenal. It's okay.
But I mean, how how this outfit looks on her.
No, overall, I gave it a 7.
Yeah, it looks pretty decent. It looks decent.
Yeah, there's some fit issues for sure.
Yeah.
Particularly with that jacket, like the jacket, as I said earlier, needed probably one more fitting to just really dial it in. But I think it's cool. I think giving that color looks really pretty on her. I think that the styling of it all with the fro and the attendant and the parasol and the cape, it's interesting. But it's also at the end of the day, it's a pantsuit. So like,
again, this is what I was saying.
You know, this is fashion's biggest night. You have the opportunity to do something like really interesting and really intelligent. And while I love this look, and I think that again, this is on the real world wearable side of the aisle, I think that they could have pushed it a little further than they did.
All right, we're going to go into our next look. And right now it is 1:23 in the morning in New York.
Do you know where your children are?
Lady, how long do you want to go on with the show before we call it a night?
How many looks have we done so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I can tell you how many, so you don't have to.
10, 11. We've done 11 looks.
Yes.
Out of the 300.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to do all of them.
No. So why don't we aim for 15?
15, okay. So we're at 11 now.
We'll do 4 more,
4
and then
more.
we'll call it a day.
We'll go back and we'll come back to this and we'll try to do the show. We'll come to the show earlier,
Yes.
possibly tomorrow, and go through all the looks.
Well, I mean, I think that maybe what we should do is we should just chunk through them, because if we tried to do all 300 of them, that would be like...
What we should do is probably, I think, when we come back, we should just simply do the overall and the fit.
Yeah.
I think that's the quickest way to do it. Creativity, we can just kind of go over that in the fit and the I bet really we should just go and just do overall for all of them, I think.
Well, I
Going
mean, we could
forward.
do theme and overall.
Yes. We'll just do those two. I think that's good.
Yeah.
And or fit. It'll be fit and it'll be theme. 'Cause
Yeah.
the fit in a lot of ways encompasses the whole all of it. We'll just say that the fit is the whole outfit. Everything as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there we go. She did okay. It's not, to me, it's like, this look is kind of meh. It's not ugly, but it's not very flattering.
Yeah.
The lady gave her a 7.
Yeah,
overall,
for like
not
the
terrible.
carpet of the Met, you would think that you would do a little bit more. You would do a little more.
Yes.
But whatever.
And you right now, people, if you're joining us here for the first time, remember to subscribe. This is the gallery with the lady, the lady and the dude. What's the full name there, lady?
The Lady Anachronist.
Wait, you gotta say it a little louder.
The Lady Anachronist.
There you go. That's the name of the channel. Remember to subscribe. If you like this show, we're going to be doing many, many more. This is just the beginning of a very amazing new channel. If the lady may say so herself. I'm saying it for her. Okay. Here we go. Here's the next look. I'm going to be stepping out of the room for just a second.
All right. So this is another Tom Brown look. Tom Brown is the one who dressed Rihanna. And I feel like we have many of the same issues in this look that we had with Rihanna. So when I think about this in the context of theme, it's on theme, right? However, we have gone into deep waters and we did not bring a life raft. It's frustrating because I want to rate it highly and love it all. But it's as though the people responsible for the different components of the look did not speak to each other for the duration of the creation of the look. And there's also some fit issues. So on the concept of being on theme, it's on theme in a very like literal way, in a somewhat non-creative way. I think it's a little lazy, but there's problems. Like, why does the top look like something off of Shein? Can somebody explain this to me? Like the top does not fit well. There are visible cup pads. There is gapping between the top of the cup and the shoulder, and that's like a weird fit problem. The skirt is sitting at a strange position on that corset or the waist cincher, the basque waist. I'm not entirely sure what that is. The skirt has like exterior ruching with these ties. It has a train, but is also like awkwardly fit. So I just don't understand what the Thom Browne team was doing this year.
All right. Sorry, people. I've just returned.
Because this should have been a theme that Thom Browne, who is known for his suiting, who is known for his exceptional tailoring, should have hit out of the park.
All right. So what do you give the theme?
It's on theme, but it's lazy.
Okay.
So I'm giving it a 70.
A 70. All right. 70. On theme. It's an interesting look, that's for sure. It's very confused, as a lot of the looks we've seen are. I think. I'm going to give it, when it comes to being on theme, I'm not 100% sure this is on theme. I'm going to give it a 60. I'm going to give it a 60. For the dandy, I don't know. It's more whore than it is dandy. I'm not whore shaming. I'm just saying. Craftsmanship. It looks like her undies are sticking out.
Yeah,
right?
I don't like this
what
look.
What do you call that? A faja? It almost looks like a faja. It doesn't even look like a corset.
Yeah, I while you were out of the room, I was saying, like, I don't know what's happening in this look. Like, it's not well made. The top looks like something off of Shein. The skirt is sitting at a strange place on her understructure garment. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's an underbust corset, a basque waist, a faja, a girdle. I don't know. I don't know what it is. And I feel like this individual is also uncomfortable in it because she's covering it with her hands.
Okay, so we're going for craftsmanship. What do you think? Do you think this is a difficult outfit
4
to execute?
This is a 4.
It looks like it's something off of a Chinese website. Like
it looks like a Shein outfit.
Shein. What's Shein?
Shein is Chinese fast fashion.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It really does. It looks like that's made of like some fake silk. And it's like not even like an actual collar. It's like a print, it looks like.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm looking at it. It looks like a print to me. Maybe it isn't, but it doesn't look like she has an undershirt. It looks like it's trying to look like a suit with an undershirt.
It looks like what you would get
that's a print, isn't it?
You would get this at Spirit of Halloween for
yes,
slutty
that's what
business.
It looks like a Halloween
Boss
costume.
bitch.
But it looks
this is like the Boss bitch Leg Avenue costume.
Is she pulling it off or something? Like not pulling it. She's definitely not pulling it off. But I mean, like, you see, what's that? A bag in her hand?
No, that's her skirt.
I think that's a bag.
Where?
That's her skirt in her hands. You see, she's got her hands rested on something.
That's her skirt.
Well, it looks like it's like falling down. Like she's some kind of like if she was like a banana, like a black banana, and she's now peeling
she's
herself.
She's a partially peeled banana.
Yeah, she's like a partially peeled banana. Okay, I'm gonna give this a 5 for craftsmanship. All right, creativity.
It's a fucking skirt suit.
It's sort of. It's not. It looks like it's incomplete.
It's skirt suit adjacent.
It's to a certain level of completion.
I'm gonna give it a 5.
A 5.
I'm just very frustrated because Thom Browne.
You don't think it's very creative.
Thom Browne is known for his suiting. He is known for his tailoring. So the fact that he flopped on 2 outfits so far is just absolutely inexcusable.
Right. Fit.
The fit is going to be a 4 for me. It does not fit her properly. Like the top, look at the top. You can see it. You can see the full outline of the bust cup.
It looks like she's got a bra over a poorly made Halloween shirt, jacket.
Like there's gapping between the top of the cup and her body, which shouldn't be there. The sleeves are not correct. Like there's something very wrong with the sleeves. It looks like they've been put on backwards or sideways or something because the fabric is like wrapping around her arm in a weird way, and fabric isn't supposed to sit like that when the sleeve is put in correctly. The skirt is sitting at a really weird angle and is simultaneously way too big but also not big enough. Mm-hmm. It's like when you have a skirt or a pair of pants that don't quite fit, so you try to wear them at a different height on your body to make them fit, and it doesn't work. It's like if your pants are slightly too tight, so you try to like wear them a little bit lower or a little bit higher.
Yes, it's
and it makes weird wrinkles.
Yeah. Overall,
it's gonna be a 5.
5. Even with the hair and all that.
I mean, the hair is interesting.
She's kind of pretty.
She is pretty, but like there are so many problems with the outfit.
It's like
that I can't see her.
It's some pretty things with not so pretty things. It looks like some of the other looks we've seen. They look confused. They look clumsy. They look sloppy. This is another sloppy look. With
and
some
it looks
components.
like she stole a pair of drapes out of her hotel room and wrapped them around her waist and didn't bother to take the like drape pulls off the sides.
It looks like many outfits that are in certain states of being not finished. It's like, hey, this is what it looks like so far. I'll be back in a couple of weeks.
It's like, this is a draft, and then they just never finished it. They're like, oh, shit. Well, it's today, so put it on.
It's like, this dress is canceled.
But, like, it kills me because this is a couturier, and Tom Brown specifically, like, their thing is tailoring. So what happened? I need an explanation from the Tom Brown team as to what happened. Because to miss the mark this aggressively is wild to me. That's like if the one thing you do really well is make donuts and the 2 donuts you made were shit.
All right,
you made shit donuts.
So which look is this? Is number what? 11?
This would be 12, no?
12. All right, we're going into our next look. Wait, I'm going to look at the screen.
Yeah, it's 12.
It's number 12. Okay, we're in number 13. We're going to shut it down when?
15.
15, okay.
Or maybe we could go to 20. I don't know. What do you
if
think?
you want to go to 20, it's all up to you. We got different schedules over here, people. Sorry, if we have to cut it a little short. We started the stream very late. But again, if you're coming here for the first time, this is the lady what?
The Lady Anachronist.
The Lady Anachronist. Live on YouTube. But we'll probably be moving this to many different platforms.
Yes.
What's your different social medias, lady?
They're all linked in the YouTube channel. So I am the Lady Anachronist on everything. I have TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, Blue Sky, Facebook, Pinterest,
yes.
I think. I don't know. This is a new creative project for me. So it is very much in its early and beginning stages. So keep your eyes peeled. I have a Twitter, whatever it's called now. It's Twitter.
So it's called X, I think now.
I have a Threads. So just kind of.
And it's the Lady Anachronist.
I'm the Lady Anachronist everywhere. There will be a .com coming out at some point in the future. Yes. I have a Substack. I'm trying to kind of figure out where my creative home will be in this endeavor,
yes.
But I'm very excited and I'm grateful that I have such a wonderful partner helping bring this to reality.
Yes.
He could be doing anything today, and instead he is very graciously participating in the exhaustive review of fashion.
Yes. I mean, I've done a lot of stuff. I've done a lot of fashion stuff. I just don't know all the in and outs about, how to describe these outfits. Like, for example, this guy right now looks like he's wearing a suit with a blanket. He looks like he's like, what? Well, I have nothing to go with this jacket, with this suit. I have nothing. Oh, whoa, look at that curtain. He just rips the curtain right off the hotel window and just wraps it around himself. All right.
Oh, man, you roasted him. I actually like this outfit.
Nice
I think it's kind of an interesting choice that he made here. I think it's on theme, but it's a little lazy. I'm gonna give him a 70%. I think, yeah.
On theme. I think when it comes to dandy, I think the blanket takes a lot away from his outfit. But it almost seems like he's going for like a kind of African thing.
He is.
Am I wrong?
That's explicitly what he's doing. And the designer, if I recall correctly, is actually an African designer.
Yes.
This is very much a reference to tribal fashion fused with like European fashion.
Hopefully it was not a hot day out on that day.
It wasn't.
This was the Met, right?
This is the Met. It's the first Monday in May.
All right. So craftsmanship.
They're like, what can it's a suit with a blanket. It's not a blanket, it's a cape. But
yeah.
Craftsmanship, It doesn't. It's gonna get a 6 for me.
6.
Yeah, I like it, but it's not like I like it intellectually and aesthetically, but I don't think it's anything groundbreaking.
It's not difficult to put together.
No,
not the
it's
most
not
difficult.
groundbreaking.
Yeah. How many pieces do you make that in? You think, like when it comes to the jacket? What is that?
The jacket, there are the lapels and collar.
Mm-hmm.
There is the both fronts, right? So the 2 front pieces. There are the 2 back pieces. I don't know if the sleeve is done in 1 or 2 pieces. So there's several pieces, right? And then you've got your pockets, that looks like he has welted pockets. It looks double-breasted, although I can't see the entire front of it, but I think it's double-breasted because I can see a button. But what gives the jacket its structure is the tailoring that goes inside of it. So in order to make the lapels sit that way and to make the shoulders sit that way, you have a lining that is made of canvas that has pad stitching in it that essentially forces the fabric to curve around a body. So even if he was not wearing that suit would still have that shape. And that is the difference between a tailored garment and an off-the-rack ready-to-wear garment. A tailored garment has been molded almost like pottery to fit your body specifically. So that's kind of an interesting thing. And when you see a really beautiful suit that just lays perfectly, that's because there's a tremendous amount of work on the structure of the garment that gives the fabric no option but to lay the way that it's supposed to lay. So pad stitching, reinforcement with canvas, reinforcement with tapes like waist tapes and various things to make sure that nothing is pulling or dragging or hanging. That is how you achieve a jacket.
Creativity.
It's a fucking suit with a blanket, bro. That's it's gonna be a 6. I think that there are some nods to African fashion and the historicity of things. I can't tell if that's a full-length trouser or if that is like a +4 or
Yes.
a breech. If it's a breech, it's definitely much better, or a +4, it's definitely much better. Although that would be like a +2. But I can't tell if that's just shadow hiding the rest of his pant leg. But yeah, creativity is a 6 for me.
I'd buy that for $1.
All right, sorry about that. I just hit the I buy that for $1 button. I'm pretty sure that outfit costs a lot more than $1.
Yeah, because that's silk.
Yeah, you could tell it looks expensive. The suit, at least. The curtain, I don't know. I think I could buy that at Walmart for $10 on clearance. The fit.
Are you not going to explain your score of creativity?
Creativity, it's not very creative. It just looks like a guy who has a decent looking suit, like a 3-piece suit or 2-piece suit. What would you call that? 3-piece?
I think it's a 2-piece suit because I don't
2-piece?
think he's wearing a waistcoat.
It's just not anything too impressive. I'll go into more detail. Creativity, the creativity of it is not very high.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna go into the fit.
I'm going to give this actually a 5 because I don't think it fits him well.
Yeah.
It looks like he needed some more fittings. The proportion of the jacket relative to his overall height, I think the jacket is a little bit too long. The
Yes.
jacket appears to have some fit issues, although that might be how he's standing. But the way that it's wrinkling and crinkling across his torso is odd. And the way his trousers are wrinkling and crinkling across his thigh is odd, which makes me think that they don't fit him properly.
Yes.
So, if you are going to wear a suit as your look, then it should be perfect. And it's not. I think it needed probably 2 more fittings.
I think the fit of it is well. I think it's for the men we've seen so far.
Mm-hmm.
This might be the best dressed man we've seen.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I'm gonna go into the overall. I don't think the fit is that bad. I think it's obvious that the drapage of that, the way that jacket is long and it kind of goes much lower, almost towards his knee, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's good a distance from it, but it's longer than your average jacket. I actually wear jackets like that. I like them long. except it's buttoned.
Yeah.
So that when it's that long, you kind of maybe not even want, you might not want to button it. I don't know, but I'm going to go into more detail right now when we go into the overall.
But I think that color is
I think it's
beautiful
perfect.
on
I
it.
think the colors on there. There's some things about it. We'll go into it when we go into the overall. What's the overall there, lady?
I'm gonna give him a 7 because I think the color is beautiful. I think that he looks like you could make an oil painting of him.
He looks like
He
already
looks like
is
he
an oil
belongs
painting.
at a bank.
That man is very oily. He's almost like
He looks like a painting. He looks like, you know, you walk into one of those grand estates and you see the giant painting of the dude over the fireplace.
Yes.
Like he could be the guy over the fireplace.
Yes. I mean, there's some problems. The problem I have is that drapage, that whatever the heck that is that he's wearing, that thing draped over him takes away from his outfit completely. I actually like everything he's wearing pretty much. The color of it. I like the black boots. I like the black gloves. I think they go really well with his outfit and his complexion. I'm not too big on the fit of the collar. It seems to be a bit too high. Right?
Yeah.
You think that it's a bit high for his neck.
There's something weird with the
there.
proportions of the top of the outfit.
I'm not too big on the tie either. I think the tie should have been black.
Yeah.
But
and I mean, it might be black and we're just seeing
it's
it
a
with a
glossy
glare.
kind of black.
You don't know.
It looks kind of brown.
Would have been cool if they gave him a leather tie.
It
That
might
would have
be.
been
Who knows? It
that,
might be
that would
leather.
have been really
I
cool.
can't tell from this picture. But I think the thing that takes away from the most is that blanket. But I think they did that intentionally. They think, I guess, it adds something. What are those, tall boots?
See, that's the thing. I can't tell. I can't see because it's in the shadow. So I don't know if those are +2s. I don't know if that's
those are just long socks. Possibly.
They could be long socks. Like I can't tell, and I couldn't find a more detailed picture of that look when
I'm
I
gonna give
looked
it
for
7.
it.
I think that for sure this is the best dressed man we've seen.
But this is very much a look that is asking to be painted. Like he looks like he belongs in a painting.
Yeah.
Like it's a very theatrical, grand ensemble, and I think that that's
There's
fantastic.
some big sleeves too, right on that shirt. You see the white.
Yes, the very
sleeves?
exaggerated cuff.
Yeah, big cuffs. I mean, it's interesting. It is interesting to look at, but it looks like he put all this long whatever that he's wearing there. What do you call that? What would you call that?
It could be a cape.
A cape?
Honestly, yeah.
I think if you're gonna make it a cape, you should have made it a cape.
Yeah.
It just looks confusing. All right.
But you know what?
Yes.
If he ever gets a bit chilly, he's covered. He's fine.
He's got a blanket.
He can wrap himself up snug as a bug in a rug.
All right. Going into our next look.
Oh, you've
I just
skipped.
skipped one.
Yep. I love this.
All right. Is that Bieber's wife?
No.
No. Who is this? Is this
Somebody named Jasmine Tukes. I don't know who she is, but
All right.
the
All right, theme.
Teyana Taylor and this lady are
Yes.
dressed by the same person.
You can kind of see it.
Yeah.
What are you on theme?
100%.
100%.
I think this is beautiful, actually.
I think it's 100% on theme. Craftsmanship.
I think it's fantastic. I think it's absolutely stunning.
So you think this is a difficult garment?
It
to
is,
put
because
together?
if you look at it, right, so that jacket, that is a tuxedo jacket or a tuxedo style jacket. The shirt underneath has a keyhole cutout. The jacket seems to be like an edge to edge jacket rather than an overlap jacket, which is actually quite difficult to tailor. She's wearing a cigarette pant. She has a cape. She has a fedora. Like this is like a complicated many pieces ensemble, and to be able to color match it exactly across multiple different fabric types is actually difficult, particularly with as unforgiving a color as that ivory. That is ivory.
Okay, so what are you gonna give? What are you gonna give it
craftsmanship
for the
gets a 10 for me.
10.
I think that this is stunning. She looks amazing.
Okay, but that's not. You're talking about. We're just going by the difficulty of creating
Yes.
this item, or amend all the items there. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9.
Why?
All right. Because it doesn't look to be. I mean, it's the craftsmanship is it's difficult, but it's not the most difficult thing to make. We've seen some stuff. I don't think anything can top what that woman was wearing earlier. What's her name? I keep forgetting her name.
Which woman?
The first one, the first ones we saw, the woman with
Teyana
yeah,
Taylor.
the one who had like 20 different things on. Yeah, it's hard to beat that, right? This is
Yeah.
definitely a toned down version of what she was wearing. Mm-hmm. All right. But again, with the capes, I guess he's really into capes, huh?
Ruth is a lady.
Oh, it's a woman, the designer.
Yes.
All right. Creativity.
I I think that this is like a solid 9.
9, huh?
Yeah. It may be a suit, but it's a suit that it's doing everything it needs to do without being a costume. And I think that you get more points if it's not a costume.
I mean, creatively, is this something like
Creatively,
knocking out the park, something
it-
you've never seen, or
it's not that it's not. It's
Is it
something
like
I've never
a-
seen. I think that it is taking the concept and doing it in a very, very high quality way that isn't a costume. What Teyana Taylor is wearing is a costume. This is something you can actually wear. So
Yes.
I think that this is actually much more reflective of an execution of the theme.
I think that has more to do with the cut of it. Is that one of the reasons why you would wear it, because there's not too much going on, and it's actually fit to her body.
Yes.
Where with
She looks
Tiana,
beautiful.
it was massive. It was like this big.
It was a costume.
It looked like a costume. It was very exaggerated.
And she's wearing many of the same components, right? She's wearing the suit. She's got, the shirt underneath. She's got a cape. She's got a hat. She's got a cane. But it's not a costume.
But she didn't lose all that her femininity,
Yes.
right? Like she actually has it. Where the Tiana, she was wearing a very it made her look almost masculine.
Yeah.
It was accentuating her shoulders, or not even accentuating. It was creating false shoulders. All right, the fit.
I think it fits her beautifully. The fit's a solid 9. I don't really see anything that I would change. I think it fits her perfectly.
I gave her an 8. One of the reasons is I just don't. When they do that cleavage, I think it just looks tacky.
Yeah.
I think the cleavage really takes away from it, because you have this nicely fit outfit. They could have just closed that off, and we would have been more focused on the outfit. But now she has this cleavage out there.
Yeah.
You don't need that in order to show her female figure. We know she's a woman there. It doesn't really. I don't really think it adds much to it.
Yeah, it's an odd choice, but I think it's also like.
But it's open completely, right? Am I wrong? Is she not wearing something tied around her neck?
No, that's a shirt. It's a shirt with a cutout.
Oh, okay. I feel like, look, if I was if it was something tied around her neck, I think I would give her a 9, because it would make more sense, right? But that V,
Yeah.
like the V, the cut, it wouldn't be a cut. It would be like her wearing the jacket
Yeah.
with nothing on there, or obviously she'd be wearing something, but it just would make more sense that there's not like a coat. The cutout to me is just the tacky part.
Yeah,
cutout looks tacky.
it's like a weird sexualization of an otherwise like timeless style. And I'm not sure why that decision is being made. Like, it's already such a feminine outfit.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to have your bazooms on show to emphasize the femininity of it.
Yes. That's why. That's how I feel about it.
But there's also something like subversive and transgressive about wearing such a feminine, ladylike, formal outfit and having your boobs out. So it's kind of like that
guess.
weird conversation of like, I'm going to wear something formal, but I'm going to kind of like turn it on its head a little bit.
I think most women that would wear an outfit like that out would not have the open cleavage like that.
Well, yeah. And I think honestly that this person, if she wasn't walking the carpet at the Met Gala, wouldn't wear it like that either.
Yeah, it's to be a little raunchy, a little bit
Yeah.
more like outrageous, or a little more showy.
Yeah. I think that it's the ostentation of the occasion more so than like
Yeah.
the individual decision to style it that way. But I also don't know who this Jasmine Tookes person is.
Maybe
so
she's
I don't
like
know
a
if
Cardi
this is
B like character.
Yeah, like this could be just kind of the way she dresses and they're trying to incorporate an aspect of her into the look. I don't know who she is, so I don't know.
Overall,
It's a 9.
it's a 9.
Yep.
All right.
She gets a ding because at the end of the day it is a pantsuit. But it's a very, very well executed ensemble, I think.
It's giving me a little bit of Castlevania Symphony of the Night. This guy's doing that, but this is the good character. The other one was the evil witch.
The White Swan, Black Swan issue.
Yes. The other lady with the big red thing with the football shoulders, she was the villain of the tale. Or she's a vampire. Or actually, it might be the other way around. She looks sort of like she might be the vampire. This lady here in all white, and the other one is a vampire hunter. I'm going to give it a 8. There you go. I think it looks good on her, but not great. She just doesn't have. I mean, some people would say it does look feminine, but it doesn't really bring out a lot of her feminine features. There is a lot that's kind of hidden there. You see the hips.
Yeah.
And
but she may just also not really have hips. So
that could be it. She's just
but
very
what they
skinny.
could do, one of the things that was always done historically is you use padding to create the shape you want.
Yes.
So
Maybe they should have done that. Maybe they should exaggerate.
could have
just the
given her hips.
just for the hips. Right. All right. It looks good on her. It is good. It's not amazing, but it's good. It's good. It's very well made, and it looks good on her. Yes. I'm not too big on the hat. I just don't think not all women can pull off a hat like that.
But I think that like having I think if she didn't have some sort of a head piece,
Yeah.
she doesn't have a hair texture that would do something to balance the volume of the outfit. So I think that's why they put her in a hat. Because she seems to have like straight-ish hair.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't.
She got one of those like Celine Dion faces, right? Okay. On theme?
Yes. That's 100% on theme.
Okay.
That is a deconstructed tailcoat.
Deconstructed tailcoat. All right, craftsmanship.
It is difficult to do what they did. I don't love it, but I'd
like to see more angles of it.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty cool outfit. I don't love the level of deconstruction,
Yes.
but I can respect the difficulty and creativity that went into doing it. So for the craftsmanship, I'm gonna give them a 7. Because that's a muslin. So that's basically it's almost like that is the draft that they then started taking apart.
Yes, I'm gonna give her an 8. I do like the way that jacket is made, and that's the first one I've seen where it's kind of like these different kind of it's not your average suit jacket, right? It's cut in multiple lengths. It's got it's almost like a bell bottom. Again, people, I don't know all the terms that they call these things. It's almost like a bell bottom. It's got a lot of different cuts. It reminds me of some of the way like the Mexican singers, what do they call them? The mariachis?
Yeah.
Whatever. It's got a cut like that sort of, right? And it's short. It comes up almost up to her, under her breast, or breast line, right? The bottom of the breast. Mm-hmm. It's cut there. There's all kinds of interesting stuff, and it's almost like what do you call it? A tailcoat?
It is a tailcoat.
Yeah, it's a tailcoat, but it's cut sort of like she's like a beetle, but a white beetle.
And she's a cape.
And a cape. She's got it all going on. There's all kinds of weird stuff going on here. And she's got a hat, and she's not wearing it. She loses points for that because we got to see the whole outfit together.
And she's got a cane.
But she's definitely on theme. Creativity.
I'm going to give the creativity an 8.
Okay. Why?
Because I feel like they started with a tuxedo and then started taking it apart in ways to make it more feminine.
Yes.
And to make it softer. Because of the way that they've cut it and kind of peeled back the front panels of the jacket, it almost creates like an overskirt for a gown. The way that the cape hangs, it's just all very feminine and soft while also being formal and structured. It's really cool. It's definitely more costumey.
Yes, but it's
cool.
It's very nice.
It's very cool. I like it a lot.
I mean, it might look better on a different person.
Yeah, I don't think she has the torso
short.
length to pull it off.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
It would look a lot better on a taller body.
But they did build it for her.
Yes.
See, yeah. All right, the fit.
I think it fits her really well.
Yes.
So the fit's going to be an 8 for me.
Okay. Nate, I think in some ways it does. It's nice on her, but like you said, it would look nicer on a woman who's taller with longer neck, longer torso, longer legs. They tailored it well to her body to fit her
it's
proportions.
Beautiful.
And it does look both masculine and feminine, but they kept it feminine enough. It looks elegant, you know. But again, she has a very strong look to her, right?
And
she's looking like almost like a prime Queen Latifah.
She does. But it also requires a personality to carry a look like that.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be a shrinking, like, just quiet, shy, reserved person. Like, you have to go out there and strut your stuff in that outfit. Otherwise, it's going to eat you.
I mean, it's a strong outfit. I can see, like, they did. She does have a kind of slightly, not maybe slightly is being a little downplaying it. She's kind of masculine in a way, a little bit, isn't she?
Yeah, with the
Just
cropped
look in her
hair.
face.
And also
Overall-
the way she's standing.
Yeah, the stance. Yeah.
It's very, like,
What's up?
it's very hip forward.
Yeah, literally.
Pelvis forward. Overall, I'm going to give her a 9. I really actually like this a lot.
With the hair, I feel like it would have been nicer if she didn't put that blonde stuff in her hair.
Yeah.
If she didn't dye her hair. That's not blonde stuff. That's
And
her
I think it
hair.
would have been cool if she did like a finger wave instead of just the like victory roll type thing that she's got going on in the front.
Yeah. She's again, it's going for what, like 1920s kind of thing?
The outfit is 20s, but the hair is more like 50s, 60s.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
It's a decent look. I'm more impressed the most by the jacket.
Yeah.
And the way it all comes together. But she's not exactly the best model to wear it, I think. Right? Her complexion's good for it. You know, her
Yes.
skin color's nice.
Oh,
for
I
it.
think that
It
this
goes
cream
well
is
with
beautiful on her,
That
yeah.
cream color, yeah, is nice on her, but yeah. All right, it's pretty nice. It's decent. All right. I gave it a 7 for overall, and the lady gave it a 9. She really did like this one. Okay, this is look number what?
This was 15.
All right, 15. So you said you want to go to 20?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're going to wipe the scorecards, and we're going to do our next look. But before we go into our next look, just to remind people, this is the very first live stream of the Lady Anachronist new channel. Going to be bringing you all kinds of stuff on this channel. The lady's going to be bringing you all kinds of different show ideas. We have a lot of stuff planned for this channel. A lot of different shows. This is just one of the shows on this channel. So remember to subscribe if you enjoy the content. All right. All right. So do you know who this is, lady?
I don't know who this is. I mean, it's somebody
Is he a
called
rapper?
Burna Boy. I'm assuming he's a musician of some sort. He's dressed by Oswald Boateng, and you'll see a number of people dressed by Oswald Boateng, who is, I believe, an African designer.
Okay. So theme.
I think he's 100% on theme.
He's on theme. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think he is too. It's classic.
He looks fantastic, I think.
Yeah. Craftsmanship.
It's a suit.
Yes.
So he's gonna get but it's a nice suit. So
But
he'll
all
get
of it, the craftsmanship will include everything.
He'll get, I would give it an 8.
An 8.
Yeah.
Okay. Difficult? Difficult?
Not difficult, but it's very, very, very well done.
Yes. It's well done. Okay. I will give it an 8 as well. Creativity.
I think the creativity in this look is in the color story. It's
But-
that very rich red. It's the bright yellow.
Yes.
It's the shoes and the suit and the overcoat.
But that's the overall.
all
We just wanna go
matching
into
in the
how
color.
creative
Well,
is
no,
it?
we're talking about the creativity, right? So the
Yes.
creativity of the look, I think, is the color choice.
He looks like Morpheus or something from the Matrix.
Sort of, but
Like a Matrix
they're taking what
reboot.
is an ordinary and regular part of men's attire, and because of the choice of color that they've used, they've made it something that's elevated.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give it a 7 in creativity.
Okay. Creativity. I'm gonna give it a 6. I don't think it's that creative. All right.
I think it fits him beautifully.
Fit.
I think it's a solid 8 in fit. You know what? I'm gonna give him a 9 in fit actually, because that fits him fantastically.
Okay,
That
so
is
you said
probably
9.
the best male fit we've seen so
Yes.
far.
This is the 9 you're giving it.
Yeah.
I fixed that. I just drew that 9 really poorly. I'm going to give the fit a 9 as well. I think it's very well fit. I think it's really nice. I actually really like the leather cape. I think that's the nicest
Yeah.
cape we've seen so far. And it's not draped over the floor. I think I prefer that over the ones that are dragging all the floor, especially for a male. I think maybe for a woman it looks a little more elegant to have that long cape that goes on the ground. All right. Overall,
Overall, he gets a 9 for me. I think that
a 9, huh?
The color story is really interesting and elevated. The fabric choice is really nice. I think that it is beautifully and impeccably tailored. So I think it's a fantastic look, and I really think that it speaks not only to the tailored for you, but also to the concept of like dandyism and using fashion as language. Like, I have no idea who Burna Boy is, but because of this look, I'm curious.
It looked that in some ways the jacket reminds me of those dudes that like drive the elevators. What do you call that?
Yeah,
A little bit. It's actually in some ways it's very like edgy. It's elegant, but it's also kind of like creepy. Like that shade, that kind of blue, and then the red leather cape. Mm-hmm. Who is it? Superman? Or
I
Batman?
mean, it's but like that's
Batman, right? He wear a
but
leather
that's
cape.
what I'm saying. What makes it interesting is the color choice.
Exactly. Yeah, there's something creepy about it.
Because it's all it is a tuxedo.
And that red has like an effect on us.
But they picked a blood red, what looks like might be silk or silk satin.
Yes.
And with a bright, like almost neon
It's
yellow
intimidating.
shirt, and then the leather cape and the matching leather shoe, like it's a very interesting series of decisions that were made that don't seem like they should make sense together, but they do.
Right, yellow shirt.
That like bright yellow shirt, and on his complexion, it looks stunning.
Yeah, it's just like the other guy who had the cape. It seems like the red goes well with his complexion.
Yeah.
This is a nice looking outfit.
That's a very nice outfit, and it's not a costume. He could wear this somewhere else.
Yes. There's a lot to say about it. I like the shoes. I like a lot about it. I think it's a nice outfit. It's intimidating.
Yes.
In a lot of ways.
It is commanding. When he walks into a room, you're going to stop what you're doing and look at him.
Yeah, it's like, look, this guy's red. All right, we're gonna wipe the score.
So this is the guy who created Chapel Roan's outfit.
Okay. All on theme?
Yeah. I'm gonna give him an 80. He is on theme.
All right. I'm going to, I guess he's on theme, but I'd say I'll give him a 60. It's not very stylish. I feel like a black dandy would have more of like a smooth, what do they call it? I forgot, swag to him,
Yeah.
right? That skirt really, really kills any kind of swag he could have. All right, we're going to go into craftsmanship.
I don't think that this is particularly well made. I'm giving it a 6.
Oh, sorry. I just put a 60 in there. Mm-hmm. All right, 6. Craftsmanship, I'm going to give it a 4.
Why?
It like same reason you gave it it's just doesn't look well made. Creativity.
I mean, is
that a tailcoat?
It's I think it's a tailcoat with a maybe kilt-ish type bottom, but
yeah.
I'm not a huge fan. I'm gonna give it a 7.
7.
It's okay.
Creativity.
The skirtness makes it kind of different.
I'm gonna give it a 3. I don't think it's creative at all. I think it's a regular tailcoat. It's not, just doesn't look good. Skirt looks horrendous. It looks like he just like stole his daughter's like, I don't know, Girl Scout cookie skirt and went outside with it. It looks terrible on him. Terrible. It just doesn't look good. Creativity, but I'm not talking about the fit. I'm just saying creativity wise, again, this looks like one of the other people we saw earlier where they're just throwing on different components of an outfit and just drawing it together. Just because it's the same color doesn't mean it works well together. Yeah, the suit matches perfectly to the skirt, but it just doesn't look, it's just not creative. Right?
Yeah.
It's just cobbled together. Here we go. Boom. I threw on a skirt. Fit.
I don't think it fits him very well. The jacket seems to be slightly too small. Like, I understand that those jackets are intended to be worn open, but the way that it pulls to the back towards the button area makes me think that it wasn't actually fit to him. There's obviously a fit issue with the waistcoat because you can see it crinkling and wrinkling, and he's not even doing anything weird with his arms. Like, if he was doing some weird like stance, I could understand, but he's just standing there squared up facing the camera, and he's got all those wrinkles. I think the skirt is too big and too boxy and too long.
Do you have an issue? I have an issue with the, what do you call that? Pleating
Yeah.
on there. Like that looks terrible. It just looks really,
and
really
there's
bad.
like a weird crease in it. And I think that that's just from him sitting.
Or maybe there's buttons there or.
No,
a
that's
zipper.
just pleating and it looks weird. And it's a weird, like the proportion of the coat versus the skirt, like the skirt is way too long relative to the tailcoat and waistcoat, which are cut to his hip. And then the skirt looks way too big for him and like way too long and it swallows him up.
All right.
And then he's wearing a combat boot, and I just don't even understand what's going on.
We'll talk about that in the overall, I guess.
So the fit is a 4.
A 4. Yeah. I'm going to give the 4, the fit a 2. That's it. I think it's another outfit. Well, I'm going to go in it when we go into our overall. All right, overall.
Overall, I'm going to give it a 5.
5. Okay, why?
Yeah. I think that there's fit issues. It doesn't make a lot of sense as a style decision for him. Like it's very boring and bland, but it's also like trying to be kind of edgy.
Yeah.
But it's not trying hard enough. Like he's like, "Oh, I'm wearing a skirt. It's not a well-fitting or well-made skirt, but I'm wearing a skirt, so that's like cool."
It makes it stand out, right? It looks disjointed from the top, right?
Yes, very much.
I feel like
so.
it starts off okay.
Yeah.
Right, with the coat, because he's bald. You know, he's a very clean cut looking guy. He's like, you can tell he's very groomed, and it comes out well when it starts. Nice, sort of clean, not the best, right? With the cut of that shirt, it's a little too baggy, I think.
That's his waistcoat.
The waistcoat, yeah, and then the shirt or the jacket looks a little too small, I think.
Yeah.
And then the skirt is just bulbous. It's this big fat skirt with all these lines all over it. It's completely disjointed from the cleanness of the upper part of the coat, the upper part of everything, you know, including his face, right?
And it almost looks like one of those utility kilts.
Yeah, I like those.
It looks like he's ready to go on a hike.
But the skirt's a little too long. I
It's
feel like
too
damn
long. It's too big. The pleats are too wide. And it also, like, the suit jacket looks to be like a satin, maybe, but the skirt looks like it's made out of a canvas or something, or maybe a khaki, or a like a more denim-y type material, like a cotton twill, which is a very casual fabric. Whereas
I have an outfit I wear like that with the cargo, with the utility.
Yeah,
kilt.
you have a utility kilt,
And I
but
wear
you're
it
not
with
wearing it with a tuxedo jacket.
But I wear it with like my jacket, you know, the jacket I have. It's sort of like a smaller cut
but
jacket.
Your utility kilt is shorter.
It's short. It's not like that.
I mean, it's not a mini skirt.
It's almost like shorts. It's worn like shorts. Like that looks like a woman's skirt. Like and it doesn't look. It doesn't.
That looks like an Amish lady's
It
skirt.
doesn't flatter him at all.
Like on his way to the Met, he stopped by an Amish lady and pulled her skirt off the clothesline and threw it on. He was like, "This is fashion, baby."
The shoes look like he just bought them from Hot Topic. You know, they got those like weird white laces.
It's
They look
weird.
like vinyl.
Like everything all together in this particular, like you said, it's like the people who were putting his outfit together didn't talk to each other.
It looks terrible. It's just another cobbled together outfit. You know, it's a complete fail. Really, and for the overall, you know, he did okay, I guess. He's not. It doesn't really scream dandy. He's just not very like.
And it's not particularly well tailored either. So like he's failing on all of the fronts.
All right, so we're gonna go to our next, which is this number what?
I don't even know.
I think we're at number 21.
I don't think so.
I can't see it. Those numbers are very.
This
small.
might be number 20.
Okay. Here we go. This is number 20. Okay, we're gonna.
I mean, it might be. I can stand up and look.
We're gonna wipe it. I'm gonna look at the scorecard. I'm gonna look at what number at because it's running late. 1 second. The next time when we come back, we're probably just gonna do the fit and the overall because we have many looks to go through. 300, right? 300.
It's like 302 or something.
We are insane over here on this amazing new channel. Sorry about that. You're watching The Lady Anachronist, starring
The Lady Anachronist.
yeah,
and also
the dude. I'm just helping moderate. I'm just trying to moderate here over here. Just trying to keep the Anachronist in line. Got to keep her in line. I'm kidding. And This show is called The Gallery.
It is.
Okay, so we're going to look at which look we're on. We had agreed to the 20 looks. We're actually on number 22. It's kind of a symbolic number there, huh, Lady Anachronist?
I guess
Our dreams will
cap
be
it at
coming true,
22.
right? You want to go look that up in numerology? But
No, let's just do the look.
well, our house actually is a
22.
22. So we're going to end it on this 22, and we'll be back tomorrow to continue looking at all these looks.
All these millions of people.
Are you looking forward to continuing this?
Yeah, I think this is fun. What do you think?
I think she has a very interesting channel.
Of one video so far.
It's one video, but we're gonna be doing it. We're gonna be doing lots of videos. She's gonna be doing videos by herself. Many of them, you guys are gonna like it more without me in them.
Oh, stop. No, they won't.
You hate me. I know it. Okay, so we're gonna wipe the scorecard right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're gonna go into this look here. And what's this woman's name? Do you know?
Sarah Snook. I don't know who she is.
Yeah, I don't know who she is either. All right, theme.
I think this is really cool.
This reminds
is 100%
me.
on theme.
This is like going back to the whole Castlevania thing again.
It
I
is.
just think it's
It's
the
also
black and
it
the-
references Marlene Dietrich.
Who's that?
She was an actress from the 30s and 40s.
Okay, so the theme,
100%.
100%, huh?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to give her 100 as well. She's hit it.
Mm-hmm.
She is full on dandy, I guess.
Yeah.
Craftsmanship.
I think it's very well made. It looks
Mm-hmm.
very pretty. I think I'm going to give it a 9.
Craftsmanship, I'm going to give it an 8. I think it's you can tell a lot of good work went into that. The cuts of that, it's not this is most simple. They have given it that exaggerated shoulder again, right?
And the exaggerated shoulder is to balance the volume of the bottom, right? She's got that whole like half skirt. She's got the wide leg trouser, so in order to provide, and she doesn't have like big hair and she's not wearing a hat.
Yeah.
So to balance the bottom, they need to create a bigger top. They need to give her big shoulders.
All right. Creativity.
I'm going to give it a 7 because it is a suit with an overskirt, but it's still a very well done suit with an overskirt and a cravat and the whole shebang. So
I'm going to give it a 7 as well. It reminds me of that lady from earlier, the woman who had the cape and the football shoulders and that whole thing. It's even the same colors. It's red and black. Fit.
I do see I think it fits well, but I think that the asymmetry of the jacket makes it look kind of like it doesn't fit properly. But I'm gonna still give it an 8. Like I think it's really well done.
Oh, sorry. I just put her score in my. All right. The fit of it, I'm gonna give it a 7.
Why?
I'm not. It's nicely fit, but I feel like it's not tight enough. I feel like around the waist it should have been a little tighter. The arms are kind of loose. They're loose fitting in some ways. It's not cut perfectly. It seems like some flaws, and I think a lot of that comes from those giant exaggerated shoulders.
Yeah.
It's kind of making it wrinkle in a weird way, and the cut of it, the way it works with those pants, I'm just not a fan of those pants. Or the way that cape is.
I think that the trousers should have been much tighter, like a cigarette pant that's like very close to the body if you're going to have the volume of an overskirt. I think that the overskirt plus the like wide, like super wide leg pant kind of swallows her up a little bit. So,
yeah,
I see what you're saying there.
It always looks weird when you have like a fit jacket like that. For the most part, it's well fit to her. And then you got these really baggy pants. To me, it just doesn't look flattering at all. All right. It all falls apart towards the bottom.
Yeah. It's too much volume. Like if you're going to do a big overskirt, you need to do a much more tight to the body undergarment.
But it's more of like another more intimidating kind of strong woman.
Yeah,
right?
if she walks into a room, people are gonna stop and look at her
They're gonna
because
think
it's a
she's the
commanding outfit.
She's the boss.
Yeah.
Look, she got those little like all those things there, those little medals or whatever.
Yeah, it almost looks like with soldiers they
She's
have
she's a lieutenant.
the decorations
She's
for
like
their military
drop
service.
and give me 20. Do it now. No. Overall.
I'm going to give it an 8 overall. I think it's well done. I think it's on theme. It's interesting.
You like the hair with it and all that?
Yeah, I think the hair is like a classic 30s page boy style. She looks kind of like a vampire.
She does. That's another vampire, a very vampire-ish look. It looks like she's in the same world as the other lady. There's a couple of these people looking like vampires.
They're all in Castlevania.
They really are. But with that said, people, or with that us showing this, the show's coming to an end.
It is.
We've made an agreement. 22. We'll be back.
It is time for sleep now. So I want to thank you all for attending, for watching with us. Hopefully in the future, as this channel continues to grow, we'll be able to even perhaps invite some people on to review these looks live. I'm going to be making a Discord for the channel so we can hopefully create a community and have live conversation and interaction, and then, even perhaps live participation in the live shows. Coming to this channel will also be adventures in literature, some construction projects. My husband and I are actually fashion enthusiasts. We have very large collections of truly vintage and antique clothing, and we wear primarily vintage clothing from a variety of decades. But I'm pretty excited, and again, I want to give a big thank you to my better half. He is responsible for creating the stage and running the show from his spaceship, which is what I call his office space. So I want to say thank you. Thank you for participating. Did you have fun?
Yeah, of course. Again, I love fashion. I do. I love clothing. I love the art. Yeah, the art form that is fashion. I just don't know all the different, I don't know the complete history of it like she does. This is why it's her show, It's her show. But we both have a background in this kind of stuff, making clothing or, knowing some things about clothes and things and stuff.
And enjoying the art and the artifice.
Yes.
I mean, the dude over here is actually somebody that I would consider a modern dandy. He tells many stories with his clothing, whether it's clothing that he has made himself, because he's very talented at doing that.
No, thank you.
Or, clothing pieces that he's acquired from various places and styled together.
Yes. Maybe I'll be showing some of that on the show at some point. We can
I think that'd be
some of our
cool.
Looks.
That's actually one of the things that brought us together all those years ago, and
Yes.
something that we have continued to love and enjoy throughout. So it's a really exciting moment being able to create a channel where we can talk more specifically about this particular aspect of our creative pursuits.
All right. And so with that said, we'll be seeing you guys tomorrow, most likely.
Most likely,
You
yes.
got lady, you have what time you want to plan the show for?
I think that we should do it no later than 8, and we should aim for about a 2-hour stream, I think would be sufficient.
We're going to cut down the scoring. We're going to do the fit and the overall, just so we can get right into it, so we can get through as many looks as we can.
Yep.
So the fit and the overall, it's creativity. We could just go over that.
Those are kind of,
really the theme and the fit, I feel like is good enough. That's really all you need is, are they on theme? And then how does it fit them? How's it look? This is in the future. We might have some more detailed scoring, but for now, again, sorry if it's a little, for us, it's a little confusing because they have more than one theme.
Yeah.
So we're really trying to understand how these outfits fit into these two different themes. I wish they would have just had one theme. Then it'd be easier for the show. Because I'm like, what is this? What is this supposed to be? But, lady, send us out.
Well, thank you for coming. And you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. So with that, good night.
All right. I want to say one last thing. This channel, for the most part, is going to be a live channel. So like the lady said, get in the comments if you guys want to have a live discussion about fashion history, upcoming shows when it comes to fashion, and many other things within the world of fashion. It could be anything. It could be that time you had that pair of pants that you fell down and ripped, and everyone was like, "Whoa, that looks so cool! How did you do that?" And you're like, "I slipped. That's how I did it." Yeah, not the most exciting story. You could just say I slipped and I fell down about 50 flights of stairs, and then I had rip.
I think you've gone on a side quest, and you went on a voyage and then went on a side quest from your voyage.
Sorry.
And you're now on a tangent of your side quest of your voyage.
I'm sorry. All right. So have a good night. See you later.
Good night.